Good morning. Good morning. We're early, y'all. I set my show for 8:30. I said I'm gonna go ahead and knock it out. It is storming here still. We have a tornado advisory. But it's okay. We're gonna still get through it. Hopefully it don't start thundering and lightning real bad. Because I don't like to be I don't like to be online when it's doing all that. So we're gonna push through and get through our show because we do have a good one. So good morning to everybody. Thank you all for being here. I see you guys. I see you guys. I see you guys. Give me a second here. Hold on. Here I am, guys. All right. I'll get all my little notes I'm gonna need. So good morning. Good morning. I see you guys coming in. Good morning. Thank y'all for waiting for me. Good morning. Let me go ahead and do my disclaimer. Everything said in the video is alleged and in my opinion and is used for fair use and entertainment. Okay. So yes, good morning, Bridget J. Good morning. Good morning, Queen Sunshine. Good morning, Lenore Blackmore. Good morning, Sweet Essence. Good morning, Jamelia Ward. Good morning, Mary Giles. Good morning, Bridget J again. Denise Slay. Good morning, Rose Armstead. My backup mod is in the building. Deborah Johnson is here. Delilah T is here. Miss Pruitt is here. Siobhan Foster is here. Clarity Speaks is here. Let me make a note so I can thank you later for being here. Because I like to. Ciao. All right. So thank you for being here. Marion's Favorites is here. Reba 0616 is in the building. Felicia is here. Wanda Cox Shelley is here. Kim Jones is here. Unique Gould is here. Andretta Wiggins is here. Cassandra D is here. Renee Robinson is here. Carla Johnson is here. Shaquanda is here. Bad Body Biatch. Hey. Yeah, I already saw it, chat. I already saw it. We're going to address it. We're going to address it. Okay. Thank you, Bad. Let's put it up there so you guys can see it. Yep, we're going to address it. We're going to address it. I figured she would. Anytime I'm telling the truth, she will be here. So it's fine. Caramel got this, child. I'm not new to this. We always true to it. So Desiree RL, thanks for being here, love. Immaculate Davis, thanks for being here. Shanice Darden Emery, thanks for being here. Woo Woo is here. Alicia Murray is here. Kelly is here. Betty Brockington is here. My Belle Wilson is here. Rose Armstead again, thanks for being here. Essence Tender One is here. Alicia Murray is here. Dee Dee Darden is here. All right, so let's get started. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you guys hit the like button. Greatness love. I see you. I see you. All right, I see y'all. I see you. All right, so I've already done my disclaimer. All right, so oh my God. Y'all part of my bushy hair this morning because I'm going to wash it hopefully today. I'm going to try to if I feel like it. I'm going to try to. I need to. Let me get this out of the way. There's so much going on over here, y'all. Damn. All right. Yeah, y'all part of my bushy hair, okay? Because I'm going to wash it. But hey, good morning. Good morning. Wamaria Harris. Good morning. I hope I said your name right. Angela Holland. Thanks for being here. Did I miss somebody? Carla Johnson, I see you. I see you, Alicia Murray. All right, let's get started. Oh, first things first, we got to get the business out of the way. Lisa's World, I see you. All right. So, you guys brought up Wanda. Let's go ahead and do her first because I used to say my pettiness until the end. Okay. So, of course, Wanda went live last night. Again, this is under fair use, and we're going to explain that as well because obviously people do not understand what. Hold on. Obviously, people do not understand what fair use means. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? You say I look beautiful. Thank you, girl. My hair gotta be washed, child. It's so damn oily, and I gotta wash it. But anyway, so obviously people do not understand what fair use mean. Again, everything said in this video is alleged and in my opinion, and is used for fair use and entertainment. Obviously, people don't understand what fair use means. So from teacher to student, I guess everybody gonna be students is watching me today because we're gonna teach everyone what fair use means. All right. If you're going to get a YouTube channel, you have to educate yourself on rules, regulations, guidelines. That goes for anyone, whether you're a subscriber, whether you are a content creator. All right. Let me just go ahead and say this. You have to educate yourself on rules, regulations, guidelines, what fair use means, what it does not mean, what you can do, what you cannot do. You can't just create a page, jump on here, and just be reckless. Okay. We see a lot of that going on. I see it. I just kind of sit back and laugh because I myself have educated myself on that. But I will go ahead and pull what I have for you guys this morning. Then we're going to get into the other part of my show because this definitely needs to be talked about, because obviously people hear one person say it and then they run with it and then they think, oh my God, this is facts. Okay. But no, it's not. So let's go ahead and educate some people on what fair use means. All right. We got to do this because it's a topic of discussion. Okay. Let me go back here. No, I want to share it here because I want it big. I want it big where everybody can see it. Okay, we're going to make it as big as we can because I like big. No pun intended. All right, let's share our screen because we've got to talk about it. I love to do educational things. I have to do stuff like this at work as well. So let me get into corporate mode, if you will. All right, you guys see that coming up on my screen? Let's go ahead and break down what fair use means before we get into it, because I see a lot of people saying, oh, this person took this content. Oh, this person stole this. Oh, this person took this. Oh, she's over there taking this and she's taking that. Well, let's explain what fair use, because, hey, anytime I do my disclaimer, I'm covered. I posted on my channel as well. You guys see it going across my screen there in red. My disclaimer where it says that everything said is alleged, and in my opinion, as you guys can see, my is in all caps, okay, and is used for fair use and entertainment. Those are in caps as well. Support the channel. Y'all see that? All right, so let's get into what fair use means, because a lot of people don't understand that. All right, as you guys can see on my screen, this is the legal definition of fair use. Okay, just in case nobody knows, because obviously a lot of people are ignorant to the fact of what fair use means. Fair use is a legal doctrine that allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission for purposes like criticism, which I do as a blogger, comment, as I do as a blogger, news reporting, which is what we all do as bloggers, teaching, I do that as well, scholarship, or research, which I do as well, as long as the use is considered fair and doesn't infringe on the copyright owner's rights. Okay, you guys see that? We read it here. This is the legal this is the legal definition of fair use. Okay, people have been able to get away with for a very long time of saying Caramel stealing content. Well, as you guys can see, what fair use means under YouTube's guidelines and legalities, it's not considered theft of content because it's called fair use. Unless you copyright that content, then it is considered fair use. All right. I can go into many of my emails. I can go into DMs and I can show conversations. If I use someone's stuff, it's already understood because a conversation has been had. I don't ever have to post that because that's between me and said person. Okay, so let's go ahead and educate some people, because obviously people don't know how this works. I don't get myself into anything. Before I created a YouTube channel, I read about YouTube's guidelines, their community guidelines, all of that. So I know the ins and outs of this stuff, the legal shit and all of that in terms of fair use, how it works, copyright. I know about copywriting. I deal in music. So anything that I put out, my pictures, if you see a picture of me on social media, please know that it's copyrighted. I'm not dumb enough to put a picture of myself or an entity of myself out without being copyrighted. Okay, my picture on my thumbnail on my picture for my pages, YouTube, on my YouTube pages. If you go on any of my social media, I've done that. I've done the legal part of doing that. So if you steal a picture of me and post it somewhere without my consent, that is called copywriting infringement. Okay, understand that. I haven't said anything. I've seen it, but I'm going to go ahead and address it now, because people love to say that someone is taking something from somewhere. If we're getting, all of us as content creators get information from blogs, that is called fair use commentary. You can get it from there. You can post it on your platform as long as you shout out said location that you received this from. Okay, if you guys watch me, I do that because I educated myself on how to do that. All right, so let's continue. As you guys can see, I can use, or any person that's a commentator that use commentary, you are allowed to do so under the Fair Use Act. Okay, let's get into some definitions. We're going to move on here, but I want to clear this up. All right, so let's get into a more detail. The definition: fair use is a limitation on the exclusive rights of copyright holders, allowing a certain use of copyrighted material without permission in specific circumstances. The purpose of that is to aim to strike a balance between the rights of copyright holders and the public's interest in accessing and using copyrighted works for beneficial purposes. Okay. All right, so let's get into this. Examples of fair use: quoting a passage from a book to analyze it in a review. News reporting, which is what we all as bloggers do, using a photograph from a news story to illustrate a news article. Teaching, all right, copying a short excerpt from a book or classroom use. Scholarship and research, using copyrighted material for academic research, which is what we all as bloggers / content creators do. So just in case someone does not understand what that means, that's exactly what that means. All right, again, let's blow it up for those of you who don't understand and or know what fair use means and like to run around and loosely say that a person is stealing said person's content if it's posted there, if it's not copyrighted under the copyrighted legalities. It is called fair use. If I use it in my commentary as a teaching moment for criticism, content, news reporting, scholarship, research, as long as it's considered fair, it is not infringing on nor copywriting anyone's or theft of content of anyone's content. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because I keep hearing it and I laugh at it because I'm like, you didn't educate yourself. You didn't educate yourself. Okay. Let's continue. I'm sorry to have a teaching moment because a lot of times people don't do their homework. Like I said, I don't put myself in a situation that I know I'm going to be sued from. I work in legality, so I'm not dumb enough to do that. Okay. We're never, ever going to do that. So we know now that we know what fair use means. All right. Let's get into what defamation means. This is deep, ain't it? My God. Let's educate some people on what defamation means. Let's get into it. Ooh, child, I love stuff like this. 23 years of experience. Y'all get to see me in work mode. This is me when I have to do meetings and stuff. This is me. I'm very thorough too. Very thorough. Let's get into it. What legally defines defamation? Okay, let's get into it. Defamation is a statement that injures a third party's reputation. All right. The tort of defamation includes both libel, written statements, and slander, spoken statements. All right. We've been seeing a lot of that on social media. Let's get into it. State common law and statutory law governs defamation actions, and each state varies in their standards for defamation. Let's get into it. All right. What are the 5 elements of defamation? Now we're going to say just hypothetically in California, this, and I looked as well. And I also spoke to an attorney on this. It says in California, but this is pretty much standard in most states, including the one that I live in. So I can definitely speak on it. All right. Now, in California, you must prove 5 elements to establish a defamation claim. All right. The state that I live in, I'll go ahead and say it. You guys already know Georgia. All right. Now, an intentional publication of a statement of fact, okay, that falls under the guidelines of defamation. All right. If you make a statement that is false, that is underprivileged, that has a natural tendency to injure or causes special damage, okay, and okay, the defendant's fault in publishing a statement amount to at least negligence. Okay, y'all understand that? Let's keep going. All right. What is proof of defamation? All right. As we have discussed elsewhere on this website, a defamation claim requires 1, a false statement, 2, about the plaintiff, 3, that is published to a third party, and 4, that harms the plaintiff by lowering that person in the eyes of the community. We've seen that. Okay. I have receipts on that. 2 years of receipts on that. No, let's get into it. Oh, God. Yeah. We're having a teaching moment. All right, so let's get into it. It was brought to my attention last night while I was in my California King bed, relaxing, watching, catching up on my DVR rather. Okay. This person you see on my screen, and I can use your picture because this is called fair use. You are a public figure. Okay. We've already looked into that as well. Let's get into it because you decided to do a video about me, but you did not do your homework, but I did. All right, so let's go down because this is who, show enough Wanda. We're going to go ahead and say names. This is who actually made the video, and she was upset because I spoke on BBLs, and I also played a video where she openly admitted that BBLs stink and that she was taking care of her daughter because she know about it because her daughter. All right, so let's get into it. She made a statement saying that I need to find a man. As you guys can see here, this person here says Caramel is married. Everyone that watches me, you know, I speak on my husband all the time. Okay, so we know that. Here's everyone. You know, not to call anyone out. Here's everyone. You know, back and forth in conversation who was present that saw that. Okay. Let's continue. As you guys can see, everyone's having a good old time, which proves here, this says, oh, that was Caramel. Oh, who am I? I'm Caramel. So that lets me know in this particular video, you spoke of me in my name and you were speaking on me. All right. So let's continue, shall we? Right here is just showing where said conversation took place, timestamp that's there. All right. Let's stop sharing because I have more. I love this. All right. Now let's get into timestamps. Okay. In order to prove defamation, you have to have proof of what was said, when it was said, and what location it was said. Okay. You guys following me? Oh my God. Again, let's get into it. Let's share so you guys can see where we're watching. All right. Because I don't want anyone, because I know she said she was going to send her people over to see if I was discussing her. Well, now if you discuss me, I have to educate you on what the legalities are. If you're talking about suing someone, you have to know what you're suing for. You can't speak recklessly about a person and run and sue them because there's a certain thing called countersue. All right. When you sue a person, please make sure that you are not filing false lawsuits against people. Make sure that you have your receipts because I do. I don't throw away anything. I keep them. I have 2.5 years of receipts that I sit on, that they're labeled in emails and everywhere else that I keep them. I can clearly go and click at the click of a button and pull those. All right, so let's get into timestamps. This person you see on my screen made a video last night disparaging my character, but then she threw out this word lawsuit. I got excited because I love lawsuits. Okay, I do. I told you guys how I feel about lawsuits. I don't worry about those because anything that I say will be under the fair use and entertainment category. All right. So show enough Miss Wanda, as you guys can see on my screen, this is her. She was drinking and getting very hyped up in her video. Let's get into timestamps. This is called a transcript of your video from last night. Okay. You cannot say you didn't say said things because I have a timestamp right here in blue. That's called a timestamp and it's transcript of your video. Now, if you take said video down, it's okay. There's a certain thing called screen record that's backed up also into my plethora of vaults of receipts. Okay, so you can take the video down, you can edit the video. Thankfully for me, I was able to go there and gather said information before any editing and or videos were taken down. All right, these have also been taken into consideration and forwarded to the necessary people to do what needs to be done. If you're going to do a lawsuit, it's only fair that I do a counterclaim. All right, so just to get myself prepared, and I know her people are watching, you can take this back to her and let her know if she wants to sue me. Great for you. Hopefully you have it all your ducks in a row, okay? Because I sure do. Let's get into it. Let's get into some of the defamatory statements that were made and an admission of stalking and theft of copyrighted material. Let's get into it. Okay. Now, right here at timestamp 1:15:02, it says that you and to you, Caramel, to go get you a bottle of this. She was holding up some look like mouthwash, Listerine or whatever. Said that right here, matter of fact, give it to your man, okay? To to him because they say that he wasn't circumcised. Okay. How would you know that? My husband was circumcised at birth. How would you know that? That's a defamatory statement. Can you prove that he's not circumcised, since you love to speak on him? All right. All right. Right here again, 1:15:28 says, and not if he was not circumcised, if he was not, whatever that means, because you know she does speak in thick tongue. Okay. Girl, that's not, I want to say shit would go there. She says something about stank, and I know somebody been with him because I had his picture up and I know somebody. All right. Now, how would you have his picture up and where would you get it from? That would be still stolen from my social media, correct? So that means, one, you were stalking me. Two, that's theft of content because you took it from my platform without my consent to put it to your platform in libel, for libel reasons, and for negative and defamatory, and as a measure to tear down my reputation and my husband's, who is not a public figure. Okay. Yeah, that's what that means. That lets me know you've been stalking me, because to take a picture from, and someone else did it as well. We talked about it on the panel. Someone else took a picture from my social media without my consent, okay, which was my likeness. You stole my likeness. You stole my husband's likeness. He is not a public figure. So to do that, that means you did it for negative purposes, okay? I have right here where you openly admitted in your video that, okay, you said, because you, meaning you, Wanda, I had his picture up and I know somebody. Now I have screenshots, and I also have the actual video where it was from, where you put his picture up as well. I sent you a message telling you to take it down. He's not a public figure. You refuse. Great for you. That only strengthens my case. It's all right. Keep it up. All right. This person here goes on. She's letting her grandbaby know to go out. She says here, got to go because I'm laughing so hard. So this lets me know, my God, get your man circumcised. And then, all right. So this lets me know in this conversation right here, it lets me know that said conversation and what you said here about you stealing his picture and putting it up was for negative use. And the fact that you're saying and disparaging my husband's name, who is not a part of any type of social media platform such, or a public figure, that you are, that's defamation. Okay, if you must know, he is circumcised. Okay, I don't do elephant trunks. The only place I've ever seen one was at the zoo, never in my bed. But I hope you have receipts on that as well. Okay, and whoever this person is that you said that was with him when you put his picture up, I would love to see that, and please bring that person to court with you when you decide to file your lawsuit, because I'll be there. All right, I will be there. All right, let's continue. These are just different screenshots of this transcript that I decided to take because she was just drinking and going on and on. Okay, all right, girl, do your thing, da da da. Okay, she's talking about Melody Cherie, don't talk to me. Here it goes again. Yes, all here, have it right here, the circumcised. You just going on and on. Oh, you were just talking, girl. Oh, you were just talking. Okay, facts, give it to your man too. Give it to da, just going on and on and on. Okay. CR, Caramel, all of that. We already know. So, Wanda, if you would love to do a lawsuit, I would love to be there. I know you would love to meet me in person. I'll be there. If you file a lawsuit against me, I'm going to be there. I'm not going to send my attorney. Okay. Because yes, I need to be there so I can show all of my receipts that I have as well. So just know you are a public figure, dear. I can pull that up as well. And I can speak on you anytime that I choose to, as long as it's under the Fair Use Act for learning and teaching and all of the things that we mentioned in what fair use means. All right. This person says, hater, I'm letting y'all listen to all of that right here. You know that I'm not a hater. Congratulations. This is where I was talking about Melody Cherie possibly having her own show brought out on the ON network. She saw that as well. She felt away. You also played my voice without my consent from my video. I could strike your channel. I'll think about it. I don't know yet, okay? Because you did not get permission from me to use my voice on your video, okay? So that's another thing. All right. And as you guys can see, it goes on and on. I do have the timestamps, as you guys can see. Wanda, I hope you can see that as well. Her people, you can take that back to her if you choose to, if you don't have anything else to do. But that's what that means. Again, fair use and entertainment. All right. So now that we've gotten that out of the way in terms of what fair use means, all right. I really don't want to hear anything about, oh, you took it from here, you took it from there, because we all get our information, as I said, from the blogs and a third-party source. When you shout out said person, that is giving reverence to and or permission to said person, and letting said person and or location know that said content will be used for fair use. All right. So now that you understand what fair use means, let's get into my show. All right. Thank you guys for staying for that. Wanda, people, I hope you guys take that back to her so that you guys will know what's up. All right. Let's get into the show. I always love this part of it. Oh, that felt good. All right. So now let me get out of corporate mode and back into ratchet mode because we can flip back and forth. All right. Yeah. First comment, the first topic of the day. Y'all know we do talk about politics. We got to get into it. All right. Because a lot of things are going on behind the scenes. Tariffs are getting ready to go up. China, child. I don't know why we're fighting with China, but we are. But let's get into our show. Welcome to Car Chronicles and everyone joining. Please do not forget to hit the like button. All right. We had to have a teaching moment at the beginning of our show because obviously people don't know how this works. Learn your community guidelines. Learn what fair use means and copywriting and infringement and all these other things. Okay. So word to the wise, anyone that has a picture of me up on their page, that is called copywriting infringement. Okay. Because my pictures have been copyrighted. All right. I have the dates in terms of when they were copyrighted and all of that. All right. Thank you. And let's get into it. All right. So as you guys can see here, Ontario, Canada slaps a 25% surcharge on electricity in 3 U.S. states. All right. Let's get into what they're having to say here.
Today, we're moving forward with a 25% surcharge on electricity exports. For the 1.5 million American homes and businesses that Ontario powers, homes and businesses in Minnesota, Michigan, and New York. This surcharge will cost families and businesses in these states up to $400,000 each and every single day. If the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely. Believe me when I say I do not want to do this. I feel terrible for the American people because it's not the American people who started this trade war. It's one person who's responsible. That's President Trump. Today, we're moving forward with a 25% surcharge on electricity exports. For the 1.5 million American homes and businesses that Ontario powers, homes and businesses in Minnesota, Michigan, and New York. This surcharge will cost families and businesses in these states up to $400,000 each and every single day. If the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely. Believe me when I say I do not want to do this. I feel terrible for the American people because it's not the American people who started this trade war. It's one person who's responsible. That's President Trump. Today, we're moving forward with a 25% surcharge on electricity.
This shit here is about to get serious. Trump is literally getting us into a very, very dangerous place with other countries, and it's starting to not get funny no more. It's really starting to not get funny no more. Have you guys seen the amount of people that are out protesting right now, like in droves? Same people, most of the same people who voted for him are out in different cities, states, out protesting the things that Trump is doing with the tariffs getting ready to go up. Everything is getting ready to go up. And this is something that Trump's doing, which is causing a huge stir like all over the U.S. and in the surrounding areas. Let's get into this because this is something serious. All right. Let's get the political stuff out of the way. Then we're going to get into the mess. All right. Ooh, child. Lord have mercy. All right. So as you guys can see on my screen, it's coming up. We have a slight latency. Okay. It says that Trump blames Biden and says that tariffs will save America. So it's given that he has some type of, I don't know, technique that he's trying to use in order to bring certain things down by sending certain things up, which is going to cost the American people in the end. So Trump says that we have massive financial deficiencies with China, the European Union, and many others. It says that the only way that this problem can be cured is with tariffs, which are now bringing tens of billions of dollars into the U.S., says that they are already in effect and a beautiful thing to behold. The surplus with these countries has grown during the presidency of Sleepy Joe Biden. He's so petty. Says that we are going to reverse it and reverse it quickly. Someday people will realize that tariffs for the United States of America are a beautiful thing. All right, so let's go ahead and read into what's going on here. Shout out to Baller Alert. Shout out to Baller Alert. Fair use. All right. Following a turbulent week on Wall Street that saw major U.S. indexes that take sharp hit, said that Donald Trump issued a pointed statement Sunday criticizing the economic legacy of former President Joe Biden and urging renewed focus on tariffs to stabilize the American economy. Now, on Friday, April the 4th, the market took a noticeable dive, okay? Says that the steep fall rattled investors' confidence and raised new concerns about trade policy, inflation, and economic direction under Trump's renewed leadership. Now, Trump addressed the issue directly on social media, stating, "We have massive financial deficiencies, okay? With China, the European Union, and many others. The only way the problem can be cured is with tariffs." Says that he went on to claim the tariffs are already bringing tens of billions of dollars into the USA, framing the Biden administration's handling of trade and careless and damaging. Okay, it says that the surplus with these countries have grown under the presidency of Sleepy Joe Biden. All right, so if you guys want to read up more on this, you definitely can Google and or look on Baller Alert, which is where we're looking at. So he is raising the tariffs in order to bring more money into the country, okay, which that's going to cause some issues with everything else going up. I hear about people's rent going up. You hear about all these other things. Wall Street has gone out of whack to where people have lost tens of billions of dollars as well. This is getting ready to be crazy in terms of our food, in terms of many other different things. I saw iPhones are getting ready to go up to like $2,300. I'm not going to spend that for an iPhone because I'm an iPhone holder. But with raising tariffs, that means other things which are necessities to us, which means we'll go up and make it non-affordable to people who need them. We need phones, okay? Do you absolutely need an iPhone? You don't. But if you want an iPhone, it should not be to where you have to spend $2,300 in order to acquire one because of tariffs being raised by a stupid-ass president who is trying to cause a war with someone who we really, China, that's who we really don't want it with. I'm just saying, we don't want it with China or the Europeans, okay? We just don't want it with them. But Trump obviously is trying to push us into having a war, and that can be a very dangerous thing. All right, let's move on. We're done with politics. Thank the Lord. I don't really like politics, but I like to throw that into my show because with everything going on, we definitely need to educate ourselves on what's up, okay? We're living in a world where if we're talking about a war, I want to know about it. I don't necessarily want to talk about it, but I want to know about it. So with that being said, definitely politics will be talked about over here. So let's get into it. Next topic, okay? Next topic. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to tap that like button, okay? Let's get into. All right, so shout out to the neighborhood talk because that's where we're looking at it from. All right, so a New York man is sentenced to 40 years to life after fatally pow-powing his pregnant ex-girlfriend in front of their kids. That had to be very, very, very scary for the kids. Said that the woman had reportedly just left her baby shower. Let's get into the news portion of this.
Motionless walk of a handcuffed 40-year-old Justin Soriano, escorted by two detectives Thursday evening from the NYPD's 32nd Precinct Station House in Harlem. His arrest on murder charges, signaling a moment of relief for his victim's family. Days to bring this suspect into custody, and now the victim's family, they're wondering what could have been done to prevent this tragedy. An uneventful, emotionless walk of a handcuffed 40-year-old Justin Soriano, escorted by two detectives Thursday evening from the NYPD's 32nd Precinct Station House in Harlem. His arrest on murder charges, signaling a moment of relief for his victim's family. Soriano stands accused of shooting his pregnant ex-girlfriend, 31-year-old Shanice Young, in the head last Sunday as she returned home from her baby shower. She was 8.5 months pregnant.
I don't want him to see the light of day, you know.
At the time of the shooting, investigators say Young was trying to break up a fight between her ex-boyfriend, Soriano, and her current boyfriend, who was also the father of her unborn baby. It's unclear if the pregnant mother was the intended target, but for her father, Thurman Thomas, it really does not matter.
A person that do that ain't got no heart. Got no feelings. So
Soriano spent 4 days on the run before his arrest Thursday. Stephanie McGraw, Founder of the domestic violence victim advocacy organization WARM.
What we need to do is create a policy for 3 strikes you're out domestic violence defenders registry so they can be tracked, because this guy had a serious track record of domestic violence.
But for Thurman Thomas, a father in mourning, there is only one thing that matters at this moment: keeping his daughter's memory alive.
My daughter was beautiful, man. She was just the type of person that would take care of everybody. So that's what I remember about her, man. She was just giving, you know.
Mr. Thomas and the family are still in the midst of making funeral arrangements for Shanice. We're live in Harlem tonight. Jay Dow, Pix 11 News. Emotionless.
So y'all see that? This is so sad. Someone just leaving a baby shower is fatally pow-powed and taken out by this fool you see on our screen. All right. So as you guys can see, a New York man is convicted of unaliving his pregnant ex-girlfriend in front of their children, was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison on April the 3rd. Now, during sentencing, Justin Soriano, who was 43 years old, claimed that his constitutional rights were being violated due to sentence enhancement. Boy, shut up. You don't have no rights. You do some crazy shit like that. Now, Soriano was found guilty on November of 2024 of fatally pow-powing 31-year-old Shanice Young outside of their Harlem apartment on September 12th of 2021. Young, over 8 months pregnant, just had returned from her baby shower when Soriano, wearing gloves and a face covering, arrived with a loaded pow-pow. Said that he chased her current boyfriend around the building before pow-powing Young in the face at a close range in front of 4 children, including her 6 and 15-year-old daughters. They will never get over that. Now, it says that Young and her unborn child were pronounced unalive at the hospital. Soriano fled and was later found hiding in the Bronx. It says that at the sentencing, Soriano denied responsibility, suggesting Young's daughter had been coerced by district attorney's office. Now, it says that Assistant District Attorney Emily Ching stated Soriano showed not an ounce of remorse. Said that Judge Ann Schorchner handed down the maximum sentence. So thank God this person got the sentence that they got, because why would you do that in front of children? That is going to traumatize them for the rest of their life. They're probably going to be in therapy for the rest of their life to watch their mother be pow-powed down by someone who they also knew and trusted and probably saw as a father figure for whatever reason. Mind you, she was 8 months pregnant. So not only did you take her life, but her unborn child's life as well. So thank God this person was taken off the streets. He didn't even have enough sense to even get out of New York. So you pow-pow someone at close range and stay in New York, not even thinking that they're going to catch your ass. So maybe you wanted to be caught. I don't know. But thank God that this person is off the streets, because he is armed and dangerous. Well, was, because he's in prison now. All right. Y'all can put into the chat what y'all think about that, child. This is the world that we live in, where a person don't care about a woman carrying a child to turn around and do something that demonic. And I got to call it demonic because, baby, the devil was all up and in you when you did some shit like that. All right. Yeah, that's 2 lives taken. All right, let's get into our next topic, honey. Shout out to the 466 watching. Thank you for being here. Please don't forget to tap on that like button. All right, so let's get into it. This person says, "Oh, you need us now." Again, shout out to It's On Site. This person said, "Oh, you need us now." Okay, so this says that a Black Trump supporter who claimed that she was exiled from the Black community now begging for support after her son faces 21 years in prison for racial discrimination. All right. Let's get into what this woman had to say, because it's so weird to me how people vote for the wrong person and go up for the wrong person and pretty much, I guess, tear up their Black card, if you will. And once they get into a situation legally or whatever situation that they get themselves in where they need said support, then they want to run back and expect for that same community that they turn their backs on to support them 100% when we're over here busy, girl, watching you make a fool of yourself, supporting someone who's told you what they're going to do when they get into office, and nothing about what he said clicked into your mind to where you said, you know what, maybe this is not a good idea. So now that your child is facing a 21-year prison sentence, you're spinning the block on the same people who you turned your back on, and you're expecting us to have your back. I am busy, sis. Let's get into it.
Just need you guys' support in helping to free my son. My son is 23 years old, and he is currently facing 21 years of incarceration due to racial injustice.
Flashback.
Yeah, I done found my tribe. Hold on, stop scrolling.
Stop scrolling because I done found my tribe. MAGA family, AFF family.
Let me read before she finishes. I found my tribe. Okay. She says MAGA fam, AFF fam. Trump supporter, thank you. So she is pushing this whole MAGA situation. She has on the Trump hat, as you guys can see, a MAGA hat. She is all in when it comes to Trump. But now that her son, she found her son has found himself into some legal situations where he's facing 21 years in prison. Now is let me spin the block on my people.
Trump supporters, oh my God, I done found my tribe. I have been exiled by the Black community. A lot of us have been exiled by the Black community. But when I say the MAGA family, the AFF family, my snow bunnies, my Hispanic bunnies, oh my God, when I say the support has been mad real, it has been mad real. And I just want to thank y'all for embracing us, okay? Because we have been exiled from the Black community. We have been called Uncle Toms, Auntie Toms, told to jump off a bridge, and some of everything else under the sun. We have been totally annihilated by our own, but we have been embraced by you guys. I have found my tribe. If you are a part of this wonderful MAGA community, make sure to repost this video to keep this momentum going, of course. Comment something like, what's up, MAGA fan? Hit a support. Make sure you hit them 4 words in there. And make sure you tap, like, and then follow. Let's follow and pick up each other, okay? Let's grab each other and continue to embrace and unite.
It's the ignorance for me, okay? It's the ignorance for me.
This community, because I'm absolutely loving it and I'm feeling it. And I just want to thank each and every one of y'all, each and every one of my, like, almost over 1,000 new followers.
Meanwhile,
enough is enough.
Here we
and
go.
I'm done crying. Enough is enough, and I'm done crying.
All right, so she says enough is enough. Time to take a stand and be the change. Oh, now we want to change. You were just here with it, girl. MAGA, you were here with it. Now it's time for you. You've been crying. She said, oh God, oh my God, I've been crying. Now it's time to take a stand and be the change. What change are you talking about, girl? You trying to come back to the Black community now? That MAGA is not stepping up to help your son who's facing 21 years in prison, girl? Let's continue.
Our justice system has done our Black men and Black women, our Black people, wrong for far too long, and enough is enough. My son right now is facing 21 years in prison due to the negligence and the discriminatory behavior of Judge Eric M. Johnson of Denver District Court.
I just need you guys' support in helping to free my son. My son is 23 years old, and he is currently facing 21 years of incarceration due to racial injustice.
flashback.
Y'all, I done found my tribe.
So y'all see that? Now it's the Black community. It's bad how this justice system comes for the Black community and the Black man. You were just promoting MAGA, girl. You were just saying to my Mexican snow bunnies, to my white snow bunnies. I didn't hear you mention anything about Black there, and you're Black. You are a Black woman, or are you? Are you, girl? You were just promoting other races versus your own. So now that your son is in trouble, let's run back to the Black community and say, oh, a Black man was mistreated by the justice system. I need my Black people to finally step up and do the right thing for a Black man. Your son was Black when you were promoting MAGA, ma'am. And he will be Black when he served those 21 years. I will not speak up for your son. If he committed a crime, baby, do the time, okay? If you committed a crime, hey, take that time. Do that time. Do your time, baby. Do your time. Do your time. Same energy. Same energy for me. I don't feel sorry. I'm sorry. So a Black Trump supporter who once said that she was exiled from the Black community for being MAGA is now pleading for support after her son was incarcerated and is facing 21 years. She claims his sentence is the result of racial discrimination. Yes, the same racism she used to say wasn't real. So what do you guys think? Should the community stand behind her now, or is the same pull yourself up by the bootstrap energy she supported before? I'm gonna go with, girl, same energy. All right, the same energy and conviction that you had when you were supporting MAGA right here in the same video is the same energy I need you to keep. Go and spend your hard-earned money and get you a great attorney to fight for your son and hope for the best. I will not donate to a GoFundMe. I will not sign no petition. I will not put my name, likeness, or beings or image towards anything in order to help your son when you have been the coon that you are. Okay, you are the laughing stock of the Black community. And now you're asking for help from the Black community when you've disparaged your Black community, your Black brothers and sisters who are out here trying to get from up under the same person that you are supporting. Not even realizing that your day is coming too. You are talking about Mexicans. Well, he's deporting those same people, those same Mexicans who voted for him. He's deporting them. Okay. And if he could deport your ass, you would be next. So for you to sit on videos and be ignorant and speak of ignorance about your own people who we're all out here struggling in order to be 100% free from the bullshit that we're dealing with in politics right now, is very irresponsible of you as a Black woman. And I'm going to have to go ahead and call you out right now, ma'am. It's irresponsible for you as a Black woman to be ignorant and sit on a panel with your face shown in a camera and talking about MAGA fam. That's some ignorant bullshit. And then solicit help from the same people that you turned your back on. I need to see your back right now. And let me help you. Boom. All right. Bye, girl. You get no support over here. All right. So we keep hearing about, I shall not. I shall not. I shall not be moved. Okay. I shall not be moved when it comes to that bullshit. Let's move on. Now we keep hearing about airplanes, people on these airplanes, child. These damn what they call them? Flight attendants and other people on these damn planes acting a damn fool, kicking people off planes and whatnot. Y'all know that's my favorite thing to say, and whatnot. I love to say that. But now we got somebody else, child. There's someone else, Delta, child. Delta's out here acting a fool. Now we just saw, and I just covered yesterday, okay, from another airline that was out here acting a damn fool. Now Delta is out here on the bullshit. A passenger, Delta passenger, is kicked off the plane for having to use the bathroom in an emergency situation. All right. He would be Black, of course, because these are only videos that I see of people getting kicked off planes are our people. I'm not sure what's going on. Yesterday was Southwest. They were on some bullshit where the lady said, get off my plane. I was like, girl, you own Southwest? Since when? I see the news. I watch the news very closely. I did not see anywhere where Southwest was owned by you, girl. But now you're telling me get off my plane. Now we have this person here who is going through a similar situation for having to use the bathroom. Let's get into it. All right.
I understand why I have to get off this plane. What did I?
Shout out to 9 Jab Plug Official. All right.
I mean, I had to use the restroom.
Another airline is under fire, this time for throwing a passenger off a flight because he used the bathroom.
It was an emergency, and I was very clear about communicating that.
It happened on a Delta flight from Atlanta to Milwaukee that was delayed for 30 minutes on the tarmac. When the passenger asked a flight attendant if he could use the bathroom, she said no. But finally, he couldn't hold it anymore and made a quick dash to the restroom to relieve himself. When he got back to his seat, the pilot announced that the flight was returning to the gate. Hamilton was then told to get off the plane.
He was very calm, respectful, polite, and simply wanted to have a conversation with them about.
Another Delta staffer tried to explain he was being kicked off the plane for using the bathroom.
He broke the law. The FAA actually says that when the seatbelt sign is on, it is illegal to get out of your seat and walk around the plane. Even if you really have to go, you can't do it.
I had to use the restroom. It was an emergency.
I don't understand why I have to get off this plane. I don't understand why I have to get off this plane. What did I mean, I had to use the restroom.
Another airline is under fire, this time for throwing.
What do y'all think? Now, I do understand there are certain rules and regulations when you fly, okay? Now, if the plane is getting ready to be on takeoff, they do ask everyone to have their seatbelts on. Personally, for me, before I get on the plane, I make sure I go to the bathroom and make sure, all the things that I need to have done, I do that prior to boarding. But sometimes, things happen. You have people who have weak bladders. You have people who can't hold it. Maybe he was in that type of situation. He says it's an emergency. He says he spoke to the flight attendant, let her know I gotta go. She told him no. How you tell a grown-ass person no? Now I get it. Certain moments you cannot be standing up and or walking on the plane. I get that. But for them to make this a huge situation as such because he went to the bathroom to kick him off the plane, I understand. It's not like he was walking from seat to seat to talk to a person and say, hey, girl, I didn't know you was on this plane. No, he went to the restroom and went back to his seat, sat down, put his seatbelt on, and was back into compliance. He told the flight attendant prior before he even got out of his seat. But when he felt that his body just could not hold it anymore, what did you want him to do? Sit there and pee in the seat as a grown-ass man? This is a catch-22 type situation. If he does go to file a lawsuit, I'm sure Delta will try to fight back in terms of saying that, we do have a law in terms of saying that when the seatbelt light is on during takeoff, that's not allowed. So they could fight back and push back on that. But we're just talking about in terms of being a human being and you got to go. Okay, nobody wants to pee on themselves because they got to wait until a certain type of time. Maybe you couldn't wait. Maybe you couldn't wait. You guys put in the chat what you guys think in that situation. They say shut the H up. Said ain't nobody peeing on me. Right. The man went straight to the bathroom and straight back to his seat. Straight to the bathroom and straight back to his seat. And like I said, he did run it by the flight attendant prior to him getting out of his seat. Say, hey, I got to go. I cannot hold it. And the flight attendant told him, no, you cannot go. How you tell a grown-ass person they can't go to the bathroom? But anyway, y'all can put it in there what you think. I'll play it one more time for the people in the bike.
Throwing a passenger off a flight because he used the bathroom.
It was an emergency, and I was very clear about communicating that.
It happened on a Delta flight from Atlanta to Milwaukee that was delayed for 30 minutes on the tarmac. When the passenger asked a flight attendant if he could use the bathroom, she said no. But finally, he couldn't hold it anymore and made a quick dash to the restroom to relieve himself. When he got back to his seat, the pilot announced that the flight was returning to the gate. Hamilton was then told to get off the plane.
He was very calm, respectful, polite, and simply wanted to have a conversation with them about.
Another Delta staffer tried to explain he was being kicked off the plane for using the bathroom.
He broke the law. The FAA actually says that when the seatbelt sign is on, it is illegal to get out of your seat and walk around the plane. Even if you really have to go, you can't do it.
I had to use the restroom. It was an emergency.
I don't understand why I have to get off this plane. I don't understand why I have to get off this plane. What did I mean, I had to use the restroom.
Another.
All right, so as you guys can see, now they're saying that Delta passenger was kicked off for using the bathroom. Now they said the Delta passenger was removed from a flight after using the bathroom before takeoff, sparking debate over airline policies and passenger rights. Now it said that what happened said that the passenger needed to use the restroom while the plane was still on the tarmac. All right, it said the flight attendant allegedly told him to remain seated, but he couldn't wait. Moments later, they said security was called and he was forced to deboard the plane. All right. They're asking, did the airline overreact or should rules be strictly followed? Okay. Now, I do get it. Like I said, rules and regulations are in place when you're flying and they're there for a reason. But in situations like that of an emergency, it's no different than if you have a small child, they have to use the bathroom and can't wait. All right. Seriously, if you got to go, you got to go. I get it. The plane is in takeoff. Okay, but it's no different. I mean, shit, if flight attendants are walking back and forth, shit, I can walk to the fucking bathroom. That's how I feel. It's no more dangerous than for them to be walking back and forth up and down the aisle than for me to get out of my seat to go straight to the bathroom and coming back. If I cannot hold it, I cannot hold it. Okay. Do I feel like the plane should have been turned around and went back to the damn station for that and everybody's flight to be pushed back and for everyone to arrive at their destination at a later time because somebody had to use the bathroom? That's some petty bullshit. No, I don't. No, I don't. Do I feel like, and they're probably going to put him on the do not fly list behind this bullshit, and that's unfortunate over him having to use the bathroom. It's not like he got up and was conversing with other people in other seats ahead of him or somewhere else on the plane. I don't get it. And I fly Delta. I'm just like, what the fuck? But I always make it a point to, right before it's time to board, I'll go use the bathroom. It's just something that I do. I go to use the bathroom, make sure I got all my shit together, and then I board. But I mean, like I said, everybody have different situations. People have weak bladders. Even if you went right before you boarded, you might have to go again, depending on how weak your bladder is. Simple. All right, so let's move on. So this particular video that we're going to watch next is one of the reasons why I have trust issues with people handling my food and eating at people's house or potlucks and things of that nature. You would not think a person like Oprah Winfrey would stoop this low, but now this is why I don't eat everybody's food. And now you're going to see even a person like Oprah, you can't trust when it comes to her preparing a meal for you. Okay, so shout out to the real big jerk for this, because that's why I saw it. All right. Fair use. Now let's get into it. This is a video of Oprah in here just scrambling some eggs, cooking. Okay, she's using her cheese and all this other stuff. Wait until you see what happens in this video. You will be gagging, because I sure was. Let's go.
Scramble, right?
Like
Oprah. You know what is the secret? I got.
We have that. Yeah, cook egg.
With scallops in here and truffle.
I love
cheese.
peanut scallops,
So I like it.
truffle cheese.
Does that
What dog are doing in our kitchen?
Ooh, yeah. I didn't put all the cheese in there.
Oprah,
Eggs, okay?
are you one egg I cook for? A whole heap of egg that, you know? And the cheese. Expensive cheese that.
I love his accent.
Hey.
Look, God, the cheese drop.
Can I have it?
What you gonna do with that?
I know
wash
you
your
lying.
cheese.
I know you lying.
No.
30-second rule.
I know you lying.
Truffles come from the dirt.
We gonna act like we
No
didn't
way.
see cheese fall on the
Oprah,
floor.
go wash your cheese. What you do? I did, you go dead. No. Nasty.
Who eating them
You don't
eggs?
want none. Comment wash. I'll personally send you a link to my exclusive meat wash.
Who eating these eggs?
Right?
Who about to eat them eggs? Sis done dropped this damn cheese upon the floor where the dog was just. Did y'all not just see the dog in the kitchen? That's another no. Okay, I have dogs. My dogs know better. Don't you ever fucking come in my kitchen. The dog is running back and forth in the fucking kitchen. You got on shoes. Your help is walking around in the kitchen as well. Okay. Oprah is grating her cheese into her eggs, her expensive cheese, as they call it, child. Cheese fell out of her hand onto the floor. She picked said cheese off the floor with dog hair and everything else probably on it as well, and proceeded to continue to grate that same cheese from the floor onto her eggs. Who's gonna eat them eggs? I want to know. This is why I have trust issues. I keep telling y'all, don't be inviting me no fucking where on this bullshit. This is why I don't do potlucks at work. Fuck that. Okay, because people do shit like that. They fuck a 2-second rule. Fuck a 1-second rule. I'll give a hot damn. Now, if the shit fall on the floor, is trash to me. I'm just saying, and I know people say they do worse shit than that in restaurants. Okay, I don't see it, thank God, and I pray that's why I pray with my food. But I will not do potlucks. And no. Okay, I told y'all before. One of my coworkers, okay, and I just happened to have followed them on Facebook, not knowing. Check this out. This person was known for making cheesecakes. All right. She makes very good cheesecakes, is what the people had said. She had been telling me, girl, because she found out I like cheesecake. So she was like, girl, I'm gonna make you a cheesecake. I was like, okay. I didn't want to be, nice, nasty, or whatever, or make her feel bad, because it was all over the department that she makes these delicious cheesecakes. All right. But upon me following her on Facebook, I saw on her in some of her pictures and stuff that she have cats, and her cats be all over her counter, and she had an actual cheesecake up there that she baked, and her cat was like sitting not even a couple inches or so from said cheesecake. So I said to myself, if she makes me a cheesecake, that could be my cheesecake. So one day she brought me a slice of cheesecake to work, and she was like, try it. And I said, well, I literally just ate lunch, so I'm full right now. I will have to probably either take it home or eat it later. I had no intentions of eating it because I'm that way. I'm very nice, nasty. I'm a germaphobe. Because I had already seen it. In my mind, I had already seen the cat shit. So I was already in fuck no mode, okay? So, yeah. But, this person literally brought me some cheesecake. And in my mind, all I could think about and or see was the cat licking my motherfucking cheesecake. So I was just like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. So, of course, I had to throw the cheesecake away because, yeah. So to see this shit right here, Oprah Winfrey, okay, even Oprah is not above picking some shit off the floor and putting it back in her food. Baby, the cat was on the counter. Like, cheesecake was here, literally. Cheesecake was here. Cat was like literally right here. So I know the cat then went over here and licked just a little bit. Okay, I know. You done turn your back and maybe wash your hands, and cat then went over here and on the cheesecake and right back over here like they ain't did shit. I just know it in my mind. In my mind, okay, that's what I saw. But I was just like, bitch, I know that you didn't pick that cheese up off the floor. One more time for the people in the bike, honey, because even Oprah Winfrey is nasty out here. And Oprah, I love you down, baby. But it's a hell no for me. When I saw your dog walk back and forth in the kitchen, that was the first hell no. Second hell no was when that damn cheese fell over on the floor. You supposed to do that shit in the tray. You Oprah, you can afford cheese around here. I know times are not that bad, baby. Where you got to be picking cheese up off the motherfucking floor and turn right back around to your stove and grade that shit over your food with cat hair and whatever is on the bottom of everybody's feet that walk up and through your damn kitchen into your damn eggs. Let's get into it.
What, bro?
Oh my God. I'm about to throw up.
Yeah, cook egg.
I'm about to throw up, y'all.
Jalapeno scallops, truffle cheese.
I'm literally about to throw up.
What dog are doing in our kitchen?
Ooh, yeah. I didn't put all the cheese in this.
Oprah, are you one egg I cook for? A whole heap of egg that, you know. And the cheese. Expensive cheese that.
Up on that, child.
Hey. Look at the cheese drop.
Girl. Look at everybody walking.
What y'all gonna do with that?
Like 3 people walking on the floor.
Go wash your cheese.
30-second rule.
No.
30-second rule.
With shoes on. You got shoes on. That means you were outside at some point. You shouldn't be wearing shoes in the house anyway. I don't allow shoes in my house. If you come to my house, you can't wear shoes. I have some little footies for you to put on and shit like that. But anywho, so yeah, your people, your help, the help they have on shoes, which lets me know they've been outside at some point in time. We all know what kind of germs reside outside, okay? And you track that into Oprah's home, okay? I don't care how clean you think your floor is. If you got dogs running back and forth, people walking around with shoes on, your floor is not clean. And you got on shoes too, Oprah, okay? So the fact that your cheese fell on the floor and you picked that bitch up and went right back to grading over your eggs, damn, okay? Yeah, no.
Truffles come from the dirt anyway.
No way.
She said truffles come from the dirt anyway, so she refuses to throw her cheese.
I did, y'all did. No.
Yeah.
You know why no?
Yeah.
Comment wash.
So y'all saw it. Okay, so word to the wise, honey. Just because a person's rich out here and make money or they look like they're clean, even people like that could be nasty. Okay. So for those of you that just love to be out here eating people food all willy-nilly, oh girl, she dressed real nice, girl, she look clean. Look at Oprah, a billionaire, picking cheese up off the motherfucking floor and grating it over her eggs. There you go, honey. And we're gonna get on up off there. All right. Just a little lesson, child. Just a little lesson. Not to make Oprah look bad in any way, shape, or form, but if I ever get invited to your house, I cannot eat from there. And I don't want no water or anything unless it comes from a bottle that's been unopened. All right. Thank you, girl. Moving on. Yeah, I don't even take water or drink from nobody's house either, unless it's in like a bottled water. If I want some water, I do bottled water. And we make sure that seal ain't broke too. I don't play, child. I do not play. Y'all about to take me out of here. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, girl. That. All right, so coming up on my screen, we haven't talked about Wendy Williams in a few days or so. So we got an update on her. All right, so she is still working towards her guardianship battle, her ongoing guardianship battle. Let's get into it. I see some of y'all in this just gross. Somebody said just an extra season. Big steak is a hell no. Okay, that is not seasoning. That is gross. Okay, if you like shit off the floor, that's on you. That's on you, baby. But nah, we ain't baby do it. All right, so high-profile lawyer Joe Tapacino, whatever his name is, who recently represented ASAP Rocky. Okay, oh, she got a good lawyer because if she got ASAP Rocky off, because y'all know it was a whole video of ASAP out here, child. Confirms that he will be representing Wendy Williams in the ongoing guardianship. She got a good lawyer. Because everybody that saw the video of ASAP Rocky, we were just like, oh hell yeah, he about to go to prison. But baby, he is the new he's a new lawyer out here, child, that's getting people up off these certain cases out here. Yeah. So so let's get into it. So Wendy girl, I think you're gonna win your guardianship because you got Joe Tapacino, child. Baby, you about to get this. Yes, child, you are. So let's get into it, child. Let's get into it.
I am representing her. I'm a personal attorney right now. I will be entering the guardianship case one way or another, but it's a convoluted process because the judge has to approve guardianship attorneys. And the last thing they want to do is see my face in that courtroom. So, but yes, I am representing her. I am the lawyer right now.
Come on, Wendy.
Yes, I am representing her. I'm a personal attorney right now. I will be entering the guardianship case one way or another, but it's a convoluted process because the judge has to approve guardianship attorneys. And the last thing they want to do is see my face in that courtroom. So,
Oh, shit.
So, but yes, I am representing her. I am the lawyer right now.
You said the last thing they wanted to see his face up in there, baby. That means I'm coming up and through there and I'm about to take it all down. Wendy is about to get this damn guardianship shit released with his ass up in there, okay? He sounds very, very confident that he gonna win this case. Okay, I like that. See, I like that. I really like that. I really like that. Wendy, you got a good one on your hand. If he got ASAP Rocky off, bitch, you about to get off too. I just see it. Let me go and point my hand towards you, girl. Yeah, you got this, Wendy. All right. So he said right here, as you guys can see, he is representing Wendy. All right. So let's get into it now. So it says that renowned criminal defense lawyer child Joe Tapasino has officially confirmed in an exclusive interview with News Nation, shout out to It's On Site, all right, that he is now representing media personality Wendy Williams in her ongoing guardianship battle. Now, News Nation's Banfield, hosted by Ashley Banfield, said the Tapatino child clarified the rumors regarding his role in Williams' case, confirming his involvement. All right, you guys saw what he said. Yes, I'm representing her. So let's go on down here. It says the Tapatino child is known for representing high-profile clients like Alex Rodriguez, Michael Jackson, President Donald Trump, and most recently ASAP Rocky, who was found not guilty in his felony assault trial. Now, this adds star power to and extensive courtroom expertise to Wendy Williams' team as she seeks to regain control over her personal and financial matters. Go, Wendy. It said that the former daytime talk show host has faced significant health and legal issues in recent years, has been under guardianship since 2022. Now, Wendy Williams' team, honey, has openly expressed concerns regarding the management of her finances and well-being. Now, Tapatino recognized that entering the guardianship proceedings would be challenging due to judicial oversight and procedural obstacles. Ooh, that sounds important. Says, however, in my Kimmy voice, his involvement could signify a pivotal moment in Wendy Williams' quest to regain her independence after almost 3 years. So yes, girl, you got a good one on your hands. What y'all think about that? Come on, Joe. Not Joe Taco. Y'all are funny in the chat. I love it. Not Joe Taco, girl. Okay, so Wendy, see, this is Wendy's big smile like, bitch, I'm gonna win. I got Joe on my team, okay? Yes, Joe, come on. Free Wendy. I see y'all put it in there. Free Wendy, okay? Yes, Lord, Wendy, I love it, honey. You are out here doing your big one, baby. Yes, honey. If the glove, now ain't that what old boy said? If the glove didn't fit, you must have quit, bitch. All right, moving on, girl. Let's get into some married to medicine news. Cause Heavenly is still running her goddamn mouth. All right, in my pastor voice. Let's get on into it. Cha. Yes, honey. Free Wendy. I see y'all putting in there. Come on. Wendy about to win this case, y'all. I just feel it in my bones. The spirits, honey, the powers that be, honey, the ancestors are telling me that Wendy about to come out of this thing on top. I just know it, child. I just know it, Lord. All right, so as you guys can see, so Heavenly child, I ain't even calling her doctor because she is a whole hot ass mess out here. So Heavenly revealed that Dr. Scott, which is Contessa's husband, asked Quad for advice after a blogger threatened to release some information about him allegedly being seen at a hotel with another woman. Let's get into it. Now, you guys know that Contessa and her husband, they are, they've been known to have had some marital issues. We saw it on the show where at one point it looked like they were going to be going their separate way, about to be going their separate ways. They're both doctors, okay? But it was said that he stepped out on Contessa, and there was a blogger who's getting ready to release said information, pictures, and the fact that he was seen with another woman at a hotel, and he did not want that information to get out. So it said that he reached out to Quad from Married to Medicine to ask her, how do I get this from hitting the blogs? All right. How do I keep this information from hitting the blogs? Okay. Heavenly is speaking on that, but Heavenly, we still haven't heard you talk about and or acknowledge the fact that your son, Damon Kimes Jr., is in a whole federal case out here for almost hitting a police officer with his car. He is facing an open case right now where Fannie Lewis is also on said case, is one of the prosecutors. We haven't heard you talk about that. Okay. Your son is in a whole case. and you swept it under the rug. You refused to talk about it. You lied that the case even existed when I, myself, me, Karen Merrill, have shown the evidence on my screen that your son is currently being indicted, and you lied and said he was not. So now you're talking about someone else's marriage, but yet you still not talked about why we saw Infamil in your cabinet in your home. You still have not addressed the issues of several people on the cast of Married to Medicine saying that your husband was seen out and or know about him stepping out on you with snow bunnies and seen with in other situations with other women. You've not talked about that, but you are still talking about Contessa and the infidelities or possible infidelities in her marriage. Why is that? You will never, ever speak on your shit, but you are quick to jump on your Heavenly University YouTube channel and speak on other people, including your castmates' business and not your own. The people want to know why you won't talk about you. Why are you sweeping your shit under the rug and speaking on other people? The people want to know. Let's get into what she had to say.
I really don't. I know he ain't got no kids, but I'm saying I really don't think he cheated. I really don't.
Crazy.
Contessa gaslight you in place of it. I'm surprised he didn't play the part about Scott. I guess because Scott been so silent, they really probably want them to come back. But now Scott called Quad about some woman he was at a hotel with. Quad admitted it. She said he called me up and said, "How do I keep this out of the blogs?" Quad told him, "Listen, get your wife. The main thing you want to do is get your wife." And that's how we got in the conversation of she saying, "I'm being miserable." Because my answer wouldn't have been your titties after she said I'm miserable. My answer would have been, you must be miserable because you done filed for divorce 3, 4, 6 times. You done filed for divorce at least 3 times that we know of. Allegedly. One time you lied on camera and did not file. You filed a year later when we wasn't even around. And then you canceled the divorce proceedings right before we started filming. A few months before we started filming. Per Simone. These are Simone's words. She looked it up. She said she got the ask her. I don't think she'd lie about it. I don't think that. I really don't. I know he ain't got no kids, but I'm saying I really don't think he cheated. I really don't. Contessa gaslight you in place of it. I'm surprised he didn't play the part about Scott. I guess because Scott been so silent, they really probably want them to come back. But now Scott called Quad about some woman he was at a hotel with. Quad admitted it. She said he called me up and said, "How do I keep this out of the blogs?" Quad told him, "Listen, get your wife. The main thing you want to do is get your wife." And that's how we got in the conversation of she saying, "I'm being miserable." Because my answer wouldn't have been your titties after she said I'm miserable. My answer would have been, you must be miserable because you done filed for divorce 3, 4, 6 times. You done filed for divorce at least 3 times that we know of. Allegedly. One time you lied on camera and did not file. You filed a year later when we wasn't even around. And then you canceled the divorce proceedings right before we started filming.
So you see how she's so thorough with telling other people's business, but very mute when it comes to talking about hers? Like literally people have receipts on you, Damon, your son, and you have yet to speak on that shit yet. But you talking real fast when it comes to Contessa and her husband, Scott, about their infidelities and issues in their marriage. I don't like people like that because no one is without fault. No one has a perfect marriage. I love my husband, but are we perfect? No. Has he ever stepped out? Fuck no. But what I can say is, do we argue sometimes and have disagreements? Yes, that's a given. We're 2 different people with 2 different minds. We're going to disagree at some point in time. It's okay. But when people try to bring that up with Heavenly about she and Dr. Damon, it's, oh no, my husband and I, no, we don't. Me and Daddy don't do this. Me and Daddy don't do that. Simone came out and said, because at some point in time you were close to Simone and shared conversation, that Dr. Damon don't even sleep in the bed with you. He sleeps down the hall. When that was brought up, you even tried to deny that, and it was confirmed by Simone, who you told that to. How would Simone know that if she don't even stay in the same house as you? But you slipped up and had a private conversation. And you did the same thing with Sweet Tea when you were trying to reel her into being on the show. Sweet Tea talked about there was some DV situations between you and Dr. Damon, that you be hitting him. Sweet Tea said it. But then when she said that about you, then you want to go in on her about Quad and Dr. G and how, abusive Dr. G is. And no, we're not talking about Dr. G. We're talking about you and the fact that you shared with someone else that there may have been a possible, we'll say it that way, to be under YouTube standards. And shout out to the Bravo Shade Room. Some possible maybe infidelities and some possible we'll call it abusive situations in your marriage. Okay? Seriously. It's weird to me how a person just talks so fast and she's so matter of fact about everybody else's business, but you will not speak on your own. And people are saying they're tired of Heavenly being on this platform and being on Married to Medicine and never sharing her stuff and conveniently attaching herself to other people's business in order to get by season after season. What do we know about Heavenly except for the fact that she's a dentist and that she's married to Dr. Damon? What do we know? What do we know? But what we do dig up and find out through legal documentation, address it. She refuses to address it. She looked straight into the camera when the other blogger, when she was sitting on his panel, and he brought up the fact, well, it's been brought to my attention that your son was arrested for da-da-da-da-da and that he's being indicted. She looked right into the camera and lied and said, I don't know anything about that. No one's never brought that to me. When it's a whole indictment. It's a whole indictment in court, where your son was arrested and in an open court case, and you don't know nothing about it. I think you would, because you would be paying the attorneys to fight for your son. But you won't discuss that. But you got all the informations and intricate details of Dr. Scott and Dr. Contessa's marriage and or situation. I find that to be very, very diabolical.
So I presented that, and Contessa was like, what? And Quad said, yes, that did happen. He called me and I told, and it looked like Contessa already knew, but Contessa was already pissed with Quad. That's why when he went backstage, looked like that she was happy that Simone was saying these things to Quad, because all that had already transpired. Quad backed it up. She was like, yes, he called me. It ain't no lie. Why would Scott call Quad? This was you.
Now, mind you, this is hearsay. Were you there? We talked about defamation earlier in my show. Were you there? Did you see Dr. Scott in or coming in and out of a hotel? How do you know said conversation took place? Why? Because Quad told you? Quad's been known to lie many times. This is my thing. You are quick to, shout out to giving you the real tea, click your button, as he would say, and get your ass on social media to repeat something that someone else said without receipts attached. That could get you in another defamation lawsuit. You just got out of one with one of your employees. I said it right here on my show. I show the proof as well. One of your employees sued your ass for defamation and they won. And you still haven't learned your lesson. So it's looking like somebody gonna have to dig in your pockets again. Maybe Contessa needs to sue the fuck out of you again and show you that you cannot just be out here speaking recklessly. How do you know how many times divorce was filed between the two of them? How do you know? Once again, it's hearsay, because you and Quad been pillow talking and talking about people's business. Quad still have not come forward to talk about that stolen ass car she riding around in. We heard her talk about that shit. We haven't heard her talk about why her man is in an open case right now with over $200 and something thousand in legal fees. We ain't heard about that shit, but she do have time to talk about other people on the cast. She do have time to discuss what other people got going on. Talk about that.
Years ago, though. This was maybe before the last season she was on. But he called her and said, you know what? These people saying they got some receipts on me that I was at a hotel room with this woman. How do I keep that from going to the vlogs? Quad said, I don't know this particular blogger, but go get your wife, explain to her what it is, so you get her on your team before any of this come to pass. Now, it never did come out. It never did. I never saw it. But Scott did call her with that. So that's what it was.
How do you know?
So I presented that, and Contessa was like, what? And Quad said, yeah.
Was the call recorded? Did she forward that call to you? This is what I keep saying. People could say, she said, and that's what happened. She's very matter of fact about everybody else's business. Now, if they had some infidelities, if he stepped out, what business is it of yours? Speak about what your husband have done. Because I seriously doubt that Dr. Damon is over there sipping on Infamil, baby. I seriously doubt that. I seriously doubt that your husband is sipping on Infamil. I seriously doubt that Mariah was lying, allegedly, when she came forward to say she had receipts of Dr. Damon stepping out. Because you know why? Whenever she did mention it on that said episode, what did Heavenly do? Heavenly said, I ain't going to sit around and listen to these lies. I'm leaving. Why are you leaving? If it's the truth, girl, sit down. Only people who are guilty run away from lies. Only people who are guilty run away from lies. What you leaving for? What you leave? Everybody was there for a party. And Mariah said, don't make me pull out the receipts on Dr. Damon, because I got some receipt. I got the receipts of your husband stepping out. When they said it at this past reunion, that Dr. Damon was stepping out, and several women on the panel said, yeah, I've heard about it. Heaven said, oh, what? She started stuttering. Oh, I didn't know that. Her whole disposition changed. You know how I know? There's something to it where there's smoke, there's fire, but she won't address it because she's put out there that her family, her marriage is without fault. Yeah, it's something there. So now that only makes people just dig up your shit more, Heavenly. It only makes people dig up your shit more when you act in that way. And it's given that you have some maybe, and I'm not diagnosing anyone. Okay. It's given bipolar, it's given schizophrenic, it's given some type of mental something that's going on with you to where you're so fixated on other people versus yourself. You're a doctor. Focus on your business, focus on your daughter, focus on your sons, focus on his case coming up. That's what I would be worried about. If my son was indicted, fuck who was getting divorced. I don't give a fuck. My focus would be on my son and getting him out of this fucking indictment. But you're so fixated on tearing other people down because you want to appear to be the star on Married to Medicine. That's what you want to do. You think that you're in charge of hiring and firing. And Andy Cohen already warned you at this same reunion to watch yourself, and you're still doing the same shit. And you wonder why none of the women on the cast want to fuck with you. They don't want to hang out with you because you run your mouth. Anytime you're around them, you sit back and you soak up shit, and then you run to your platform and you talk about it. And that's a dangerous person to be around. You are a dangerous individual, Heavenly. You are a mean girl. You are a hater of women. There's something that these women possess that you don't, and you link up with people who are on the outside looking in like Quad, because she shouldn't be on the show. She's not Married to Medicine. And I know I got some Quad fans in my chat, but fuck that. I'm gonna be 100 because that's how I keep it on my channel. Quad should not be on this show. You were, that's past tense, baby, Married to Medicine. You should not be on this show. You filed to divorce Dr. G, so get your ass up off the show and go find you something else to do, because the only reason you wanted to be here so that you can get a front row view of what was going on with Sweet Tea and Dr. G in the first damn place. You bring nothing to this show. You don't have a fucking storyline because they're your storyline. And that's just on period. That's on period. Let's look at some comments right quick. Because the people are tired of Heavenly. People are tired of Heavenly. This person says, when I tell you that she gets on my nerves, at this point, I'm tired of seeing her. Okay? Another person says, didn't she agree at the reunion not to speak on this woman's marriage anymore? Man, Contessa should send a cease and desist letter. All right, let's continue. They weren't done. They're tired of Heavenly and her bullshit. So am I. Next person said, now, if Scott has something to say because Heavenly is being reckless again, according to Damon, Scott got to come see him first. That was the agreement. Okay? If there's issue between the men on the show, it was agreed on the show that the men would speak on it. So here's Heavenly again, jump starting her damn mouth again, cranking up her mouth to speak on another woman's husband, when the agreement at the reunion was if there's an issue with a man, then the husband will speak on it and not the wife. So now you are putting yourself in a situation where Dr. Scott gonna have to address you and cuss your ass out, and then Damon gonna have to jump up and say something to Dr. Scott for addressing you for speaking on him and his marriage when it was agreed. And you sat there and heard it and shook your head, because I watched it, in agreement that you would not speak on any man on the panel, that you guys would allow the man to address a man. So here you go again, doing that shit again. It says, because if Damon has been speaking to Heavenly at all about her actions, it hasn't worked. All right, let's continue. Another person says, I really want her to shut up. Okay, let's continue. Another person says, come on, Heavenly, please, it's Sunday. They're tired of her shit. Another person says, I can't wait. Let's highlight it. I can't wait until 11:59 p.m. when the last episode airs and this lady goes back to being just a dentist. Says that her vlogger trauma base didn't get attention as a kid. Career is exhausting. Says that we need to start a class action lawsuit. Y'all hear that? Another person says, let's talk about the baby and the baby milk at your house. See, she ain't gonna never address that shit. Another person says, when is enough enough? Like, this is team way too much. Another person goes on to say that Heavenly, you are so damaged. It's sad. Get your life again. Another person says, I see at Dr. Heavenly. They're adding her so that she will know what's being said about her. That didn't learn a lesson for the 5th time. Says it also, don't cry or play victim when Contessa comes for you. Okay, you don't do it. Because she likes to use it. I'm going to say this and I'm going to take it back. No, there's no say it and take it back when you're defaming someone. So unless you have receipts on the fact that this happened and he was seen at a hotel, or you got pictures to show and put up. See, that was the time to do it. When you spoke on it, put them pictures up and say, hey, I got it right here. Same shit I said about Wanda. You gonna speak on my husband, bitch? Put the pictures up of the bitch that said she was with my husband. I want to see this shit. I'm excited to see another bitch claim she been with mine, because we know it's a motherfucking lie. So if you got pictures of Dr. Scott up at the hotel, we ain't gonna do no quad told me. Nah, that's defamation, bitch. That's defamation. Unless you got receipts on that, shut your ass up. Let's move on. Woo. All right, so for those of you that are church parishioners, I'm still over here at Bedside Baptist, and this is one of the reasons why. Let's get into it. We ain't gonna stay on that, child. Y'all already know how heavenly is. She ain't about to have me hollering. I ain't ready. Why are my dogs fighting? My dogs are fighting. What the hell? All right. Cha. All right, so let's get into it. Shout out to It's Only Entertainment. Now, for those of you that are church parishioners, church child, you can't, the days of saying I ain't got no money when the offering plate come around is dead and gone, child. All right, the days of saying I ain't got no money, child, if you're in a situation out here where where your boy out here is saying close the doors, lock the doors. Y'all remember that situation out here, child. That situation just went down. People are still talking about that. All right, what people say is shut the doors, close the doors, girl. Now, let's go ahead and watch what's going on, because they are passing around a credit card machine in church to pay tithes and offerings. Okay, if you ain't got the money, honey, there ain't no excuse. Now, I know we've seen a lot of churches. Okay, I hear that Creflo Dollars got cash machines in his church, ATM machines rather. I hear that they got them over there at Eddie Sloan's church over there, aka Jamal Bryant's church. I hear there's one over there. I ain't never been, but that's what I hear allegedly. Let's put that on there, okay? Because we want to be under the Fair Use Act. All right, we're gonna stress that in this video. All right, we're gonna learn y'all something, as old people say. So let's get into it, child, because this is crazy. When I saw this, I'm like, yo, without the music, of course. They're singing, child. They're singing. You know, that's how they get the people in there, honey. Them songs. Look at them, child. Tap, 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 and pass. Look at them. Offering time, girl. Look at the offering time in this church, girl. Look at that, girl. Ooh, child. Whoever was filming this in church, why they got the camera above people's personal information, child? Well, people are paying, zooming in to people and trying to see how much they're paying their offering. If that person, look at that. Look at that. What is this? What has church come to? Now, I get it that, you know, if you want to give and you don't have no money, if that's what you choose to do and or how you choose to pay, okay. But what has church come to now where people are passing around a credit card machine in church, cash apping, Zelling church money? Have y'all seen this before? It said TD Cakes got one. Schoolboy, I can't with you. Y'all got me laughing. Y'all got me cracking up. What is going on? Camera. Say, I love your nails, Caramel. Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. But yeah, what y'all think? Parishioners passing a credit card machine back and forth. And you see they zooming in, child. They want to see. Obviously, that's a Bank of America card. I'm just looking. See, that ain't my business. But whoever the cameraman is in their church, honey, they zooming in, making sure that people are giving, girl. They are making sure that the people are really giving. Ain't that some shit? Child. Baby, church is doing too much. Church is doing, this is why I'm at Bedside Baptist, honey. We don't have that at my church over here. Bedside Baptist, honey, with a Reverend Pillow. And our First Lady Quill is my First Lady and pastor. Okay, we don't have that. But yeah, so credit card machines are being passed about. You ain't even got to get up and go to the ATM in church no more to give no more, y'all. Church is becoming a little bit more, you know, wiser when it comes to giving. So it's no excuse if you come to church like I ain't got the church say, hey, you know, like Marvin Sapp said, close the doors, lock the doors, ushers, hold the doors. We want everyone to give $200. You can't be, I ain't got $200. I ain't got $200 in cash. Don't worry about it. We're going to send around the cash machines, baby, so you can give. Oh, child, this don't look like freely giving here. This don't look like you freely giving. That's all I'm saying. Somebody said TD Snake. Not take that Jake's in the building, girl. But yeah, child, that's what church is up to now. I'm sick of this, y'all. This is why I keep moving my membership, because I cannot. All right, so let's move on into some Diddy news, girl. Ooh, girl. Let's get into some Diddy news, because Diddy's in a lot of trouble. Y'all know his case is coming up. I think they moved it back slightly from May the 5th, girl, because some more cases have been placed upon him. Y'all know how to say upon. More cases have been placed upon him, girl. So I think they moved his case back from May the 5th. I think I got to look up that a little bit more and see what's going on. But I will be looking into that, and I will be watching to see what's going on with that. And I think I'm going to cover it as well. Of course, the Nazaria case as well in October. But Diddy's case, I'm definitely going to be on that shit because I want to see how this turn out. But let's get into, as you guys can see on my screen, shout out to the neighborhood talk. Fair use. All right. Cassie reportedly plans to testify using her real name, as she should, at Diddy's upcoming SEX trafficking trial. Now, y'all know he is being charged with trafficking as well as other SEX crimes, and he's also got some RICO charges upon him. So, hey, prostitution and all that, child. All of that is upon him. He is currently being held in an MDC Brooklyn prison right now. All right. But let's get into what's being said in this case, because this is getting a little more sticky. And I've seen that more cases have been added. More SEX cases, assault cases have been added. Okay. So the more people that come forward, the more that they're going to strengthen this case. Okay. It's amazing. The many people that's coming forward is just jarring. We've already talked about Terrence Howard the other day, where he's also come forward to say that Diddy tried him. So I'm just like, damn, bro, who have you not tried in Hollywood and outside of Hollywood? All right, so let's get into it. Shout out to Cassie for kicking the door down in this whole case, because had she not spoken up, other people might not have had the strength to come forward and do so. As you guys can see down here, the still picture of Diddy assaulting Cassie. That's also going to be talked about as well. Let's get into it. Cassie, as you guys know her as Cassie Ventura, okay? It's me and you. Y'all remember? I love that song too. Me and You. That was my shit. But Cassie, honey, is set to testify under her real name in Diddy's upcoming federal trial. She is identified in court documents as victim 1 and will not remain anonymous, unlike the other alleged victims who have requested their identities to be kept private to avoid harassment and retaliation, as they should. As they should, because we know about Diddy sending, allegedly, all right, some people to said rapper Kid Cudi's house to blow up one of his cars in his driveway for speaking out on some shit that Diddy was doing. Okay, so yeah, they like, I don't want that action, child. I don't want that shit. So yeah, I want to remain anonymous for said reason. So let's get into it now. Prosecutors recently revealed the names of the anonymous accusers to Diddy's legal team. Now, Cassie's involvement was already publicly known due to a hotel surveillance video referenced in the indictment, the same video CNN previously released and then allegedly destroyed. Allegedly. All right, so Diddy, who is currently being held at the MDC Brooklyn, faces charges including racketeering, conspiracy, SEX trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. All right. Now, his trial is set to be scheduled for May 5th. I heard it was pushed back. Maybe it's still May 5th. He has pleaded not guilty and denies all allegations, as he always does. Now, Cassie previously sued Diddy in November of 2023 for R-wording her, abuse, and human trafficking. All right. Now, the case was quickly settled, as we all know, within 24 hours to be exact. But it sparked a wave of similar lawsuits against the mogul, or music mogul, rather. Okay. So, yes, I think she should use her name. Say it loud, honey, and say it proud. Who you are and what was done to you. Let the people know I'm the one that opened this case up. I'm the one that kicked this door down. I'm the one that opened the door for other accusers to come forward to say, hey, this was done to me. Now, Cassie does have her own security. She's able to move about and not be touched. Of course, the feds are watching her. The feds are protecting her as well, because they do know what happens whenever, of course, a lawsuit of this magnitude is placed upon a very public, powerful figure like Diddy. Certain ramifications, certain protective measures do have to be put in place towards the person that is actually suing said person. All right. So Cassie does have the means to do so. She's been awarded millions and millions of dollars from Diddy. So she does have the means in order to have said security. And I'm pretty sure the feds are also doing that as well, knowing that she could be unalive before this case actually takes place if she does not have certain protective measures in place, because she is the star witness in this case. So if you guys see videos or pictures of Cassie out and about, she is expecting another child again. I'm hearing she's having a girl or a boy. I think it's a boy. So just know, when you guys see her out and about, she is protected fully. No one is going to be able to touch her because she is federally protected because of the type of case that she is facing with Diddy. He's very powerful in terms of who he is and the things that he's been accused of and the people who he has access to. We've already known that certain people will do things for other people to eliminate certain people from being able to testify in a very public case such as this. All right. So if something happens to Cassie, who is the star witness, this case could really take a nosedive. So they are protecting her in every measure that they can because the feds want Diddy's ass. And she's already won her first case in terms of him settling like that. And a person who is not guilty of something do not settle within 24 hours, especially with the amount of money that Cassie was asking for. That lets me know that there was some definite reasoning for you doing so. Okay, what she was saying was done to her. Some of that shit was true, or most, if not all, was true about what she was suing Diddy for. So this is going to be a cakewalk for her to come in court and say, hey, this nigga did this. She got dates. I'm pretty sure she's got backup. I heard that she had some like evidence that was also given to her by Kim Porter. Some of that stuff may be also given, probably already given to the feds. All right. I'm pretty sure that she has her ducks in a row. All right. And Diddy knows that. So there ain't shit he can do right now because the feds are what? Girl, that's called watching. Let's continue. All right. So shout out to Diddy for being in jail where he should have been a long time ago. Moving on. This right here, child, this next topic. Baby, when I saw this, I said, Lord, do I want to talk about this? Because, baby, this is giving too much. All right. Good morning to everyone. I see you, Tyra. Thanks for being in the building. All right. Thank you to all my moms for being here as well. You guys are in the building. It said country slang, not... You guys are, it says Cassie started to break down and the fall of Diddy. She is pregnant. Yes, she is pregnant now. She is pregnant now. Let me look at some of you guys' comments before we move to the next topic. It says he's going to get life without parole, I hope. It says she might as well use her name as well. Yeah, we all know who it is now. It says, come on, Father, I know you soon to come. He is, girl. He is coming. All right, so let's get on to the next topic because, baby, when I saw this, honey, child. Whoo, Lord, this about blew my bangs back when I saw this shit. I was like, really? Who is on this kind of time? So Damon Wayans, honey, did an interview with Shannon Sharp, baby. And the things that he revealed in this interview, child, made me look like, what? Girl, let's talk about it. Girl, let's talk about it. All right. Let's give it a chance to come up because you guys know how StreamYard is. There's a slight latency. All right. Let's get into it. All right, so Damon Wayans, all right, from the Wayans brothers, you guys know who he is, child. Damon Wayans says that his mother would make their siblings kiss in the mouth, girl, like that, when they would fight, all right? He said that I learned how to tongue kiss with Marlon. That's some sick shit. What kind of shit was going on in their household? My God. Now I see why he's coming out all willy-nilly and saying that he dated his nephew's girlfriend. Girl, talk about keeping it in the family, child. Tongue kiss. So you learn how to tongue kiss from your brother because your mama made y'all kiss in the mouth. What kind of shit is this? Let's get into this bullshit. All right. Shout out to the neighborhood talk. Fair use.
Guys would fight. Your mom would make you guys kiss.
Yep, in the mouth.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. I learned how to tongue kiss with Marlon. No, but like once you kiss your brother in the mouth, you don't want to do that.
You want to fight no
you
more. Yeah, you be done.
Yeah, we'll take this. We'll go outside. Right. We'll find a place to finish this. But like we didn't like kissing each other. But to finish the kissing thing,
yeah.
Like to this day, we all kiss.
I noticed that.
Hello and goodbye.
I noticed that
because you never know what's going to happen when they walk out the door. Even if I get into an argument and we yelling and screaming. All right, nigga, I see it. And
I wonder, you know what? Because I noticed it when you guys were on Living Color.
Right.
And I noticed that. I was like, well, you know, they can't do this all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
And I saw you guys when you were at the NAACP, the Image Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys always been that close?
Yes. Yeah, we are our best friends. Like the funny thing about being a Wayans is we don't, you know, that Kim is very social. She has a lot of friends. Marlon has a lot of friends. Yeah.
I would never have guessed that.
But Kim has like old school friends. She's not out and about. Hollywood friends. Her friends are from college,
she grew up
Westland and from the project.
Okay.
You know, so she has still a lot of those friends. Marlon still has, you know, Omar and Mitchell, and, you know, all his like childhood friends. And My friends are my brothers and their friends. You know, I'm cool with Omar. I'm cool because as long as they love him, they vet him for me. Yeah, as long as they love him, they cool.
You cool with him, I'm cool with you.
Yeah. I poke jokes, right? But you ask, what did she give us? Love. My mother was the heartbeat of this family.
That's what Marlon said.
And taught us how to love and how to, you know, even though she sometimes didn't practice what she preached, but how to get past grudges. That's your brother. That is your sister. You love them. They're going for the rest of your life. They're going to be your brother and sister. That's what my mother gave us, love.
What can people take away from the Wayans family with the way you guys interact? What would you like other families to take most away from the way you interact with your family or your family interact with each other?
That you never know what could happen or will happen. So all that stuff you hold on to, let it go. You know, I don't always agree with my brothers and sisters. We have our little disagreements.
Yep.
But for the most part, you never know what tomorrow brings.
Right.
So don't bring tomorrow today, right? Which is, I wish I could have. I know so many people. I don't understand families that don't get along. You don't talk to your brother?
Yeah.
You know, you stop talking to your mother? How'd that happen?
I don't get that.
My mother come kick the door down. She climbing through the window. You don't stop talking to her. You know, but that's not how my family. I just wish that people, the funny thing is, like on my set, people are hugging and kissing when they come in and they tell me, we don't do this in my family.
Well, you should.
Yeah. And they just thank, I got some wonderful cards thanking me. It's not me. It's my family.
Right.
It's how just we are.
You guys would fight. Your mom would make you guys kiss.
Yep, in the mouth.
Huh?
Y'all heard him say they make him kiss in the mouth. Now, I see some of you guys saying that, and I got to watch the entire interview. I just basically saw this clip, and I'm going to go back and watch it now because I feel like this is going to be a good interview. He's very well spoken. I like Damon Wayans, nothing against him. I just feel like that was kind of weird. Now, I have siblings. If and when we get into arguments and fight, we were always made to hug. And you're going to hug until you get over it like that. But the kissing part, fuck no. That's my sibling. All right, you're going to fight. Siblings always have sibling rivalry. You're going to always have that sibling where you're going to be ready to knock their damn block off. But it's understood, your family, you get over it and you live to fight another day. But the kissing in the mouth part, that kind of threw me a little bit. So I don't know. Everybody have different rules and regulations in their home. Do I feel like that's a little gross? Slightly. But hugging is what we were taught to do. When you get into it, I have brothers. And I got a sister, I got brothers. And if we ever get into a fight with it, it's understood you hug and you apologize to your sibling and y'all move past that shit. All right. Do not go to bed mad. And I have adopted the same thing in my own marriage. If me and my husband have a disagreement, we don't go to bed mad. We're going to talk this shit out and we're going to talk and we're going to figure it out. We're going to hug it out and we're going to thug it out later. All right. So, but yeah, anyway, that's how, like I said, that's pretty much how we were raised. But in their household, it seems almost the same thing. But the fact that they were made to kiss in the mouth, brothers, I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's a different type of love. I see parents that kiss their kids in the mouth. I don't do that. People love in different ways. I see people do it all the time. You kiss your child right dab in the mouth. I see people as grown people kiss their son in the mouth. I don't do that. I love my son. He get a kiss on the cheek. Or I hug him, like we're affectionate, but not in that way to where I'm just all in the mouth with it. Like, hell no. But to each his own. I can't tell somebody how to raise theirs or how to do in their household. It's weird, yes, but hey, that's not how I choose to move move. Let me say it that way. But what y'all think? Y'all put it in the chat. It's weird. I see y'all putting the throw up signs. Yeah, it's a little odd. It's a little odd. They seem to be a very close-knit family. It's a lot of them Wayans too. Go look them up. It's a lot of them. All right. I mean, a lot. The ones that we know of are the 4 that we see down here, but it's a lot of the Wayans. They have a very, very big family. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, we had to hug and apologize. I see y'all putting it in. Let me go back to the comments. Let's go back to the comments, child. We had to hug it out, baby. Them say, no, you don't. No, you don't. Siobhan Fox said, I made my kids do that while sit together. No, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna hug. Somebody said that Alicia Murray said that we had to hug and apologize. Yeah, same here. No, you don't. No, y'all not gonna be fighting. Said that we said that we would visit my grandmother, that she would peck us on the lips. But I mean, what was wrong because that was what old folks did. Okay. like I said, everybody have different ways that they interact and or show affection. Said that Diddy and his mom, Diddy and his mama definitely kissing him out. But their child was like that long kiss. It wasn't like that. It was that long, like still there, and did I say still there type of kiss? Okay, weird. I don't know. I mean, I love my dad, but never have I ever kissed him in the mouth ever. Now when he was alive, he would come up and grab me and hug me real tight, and kiss me on the cheek and like hold it there, like say, I love you. I love you. You know you're my girl, right? You know you're my favorite girl. I'd be like, okay, but never ever in my mouth. I'd have been like, Dad, what the fuck? Like, no. Somebody said I went to college with Keenan and he was really good. Oh, okay, Melinda. Yes, honey, Melinda said she went to college with Keenan and he was cool. That's what's up. Okay. All right, so let's take that down, honey. We're gonna move on. I'm trying to breeze on through these damn topics, child. So shout out to the Williams brothers, child. All right, so let's get into some other things. Ooh, child. Yeah, Diddy did it with his mama, child. That was weird. That was like, ooh. Child, anybody out here trying to be kissing in no mouth like that? All right, so for those of you who have landlords who are renters, let's get into this topic here. They have breaking news. Shout out to 9 Lap Lug Official. Fair use. Landlords are struggling to pay their own bills as tenants don't make the rent. Now, we talked about tariffs and things like that going up. I did see a post the other day, was it yesterday? Where Georgia residents, their rent is getting ready to go up. They're saying that everything is getting ready to go up. So let's get into this topic, because for those of you that pay rent, your rent might be getting ready to go up, child. Everything is going up. But let's get into this. And they're saying the landlords aren't able to do what needs to be done. So people are going to be getting evicted if they're not paying state rent. Let's go. All right.
The landlord. Kevin Savage is getting a lesson. The Chicago Heights landlord is going door to door at his properties with a question for his tenants.
Do you have the rent for this month?
Only to have the door slammed in his face time and again.
Tenants have not been paying. They have not paid the money. Water bills that the tenant does not pay, it goes on me. I have to be able to pay all that or never to keep my house.
It's part of what experts deem a housing crisis in Illinois. More than 1 million residents found themselves out of work because of the pandemic and unable to make rent or mortgage payments. The state did offer a temporary moratorium on evictions.
We encourage any landlords who are aware of this struggle and this conflict to join us in calling for this to be pushed up onto banks and onto investors and onto the billionaires and millionaires who could weather this crisis and who are currently actually profiting.
Literally slamming the door in the landlord's face. You living on his property and refuse to pay him, but he come and knock on your door to ask you, do you have the rent? And instead of giving him a definitive answer, you slam the door in his face like, I don't got to answer to you. I'm gonna stay on your property, but as long as I feel like it, I'm not gonna pay you regardless to what the contract says. Because anywhere you go and rent, there's a contract, a legal binding contract. Okay, so now he's got to spend more money that he's not getting from you from rent. He's got to spend more money to go through the legal system, which that costs money. Court, to get an attorney and court costs, that's money. To legally evict you, he can't just come into your home and use his key, take all of your belongings and just throw you out. Okay, you gotta go through the courts and then have the sheriffs come to do a legal eviction to then put your stuff out. This is something that, for those of you that rent properties, please understand. Tenants do have rights and you have to legally evict them or you could be sued. So imagine owning a property and having someone staying in your property. They don't pay you and you go and illegally evict them. They can sue you and win. And the money that they owe you, they may not have to pay you because you illegally evicted them. So you got to know the rules and regulations and law. That's why I say anything that you get involved with, you got to read up on it and educate yourself fully on how it works.
The landlord.
Kevin Savage is getting a lesson. The Chicago Heights landlord is going door to door at his properties with a question for his tenants.
Do you have the rent for this month?
Only to have the door slammed in his face time and again.
Tenants have not been paying. They have not paid the money. Water bills that the tenant does not pay, it goes on me. I have to be able to pay all that or never to keep my house.
It's part of what experts deem a housing crisis in Illinois. More than 1 million residents found themselves out of work because of the pandemic and unable to make rent or mortgage payments. The state did offer a temporary moratorium on evictions.
We encourage any landlords who are like aware of this struggle and this conflict to join us in calling for this to be pushed up onto banks and onto investors and onto the billionaires and millionaires who could weather this crisis and who are currently actually profiting.
Okay, y'all see that? All right, so let's read up on this. Let's read up on it. Shout out again to 9Jab Logo Official. Okay, fair use. Landlords struggling as tenants default on rent payments. Now, the ongoing economic challenges have led to an increased number of tenants defaulting on rent, placing significant financial strain on landlords who rely on these payments to cover property expenses and mortgages. Okay, there's a lot to go into properties. Okay, I have properties, so I know about how this shit work. So let's get into it. Now, impact on small landlords. Small property owners are particularly vulnerable in scenario. Many operate in thin margins, and missed rent payments can quickly lead to financial distress. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, numerous small landlords face hardships as renters move out or stop paying rent, despite federal mortgage forbearance, programs and rental relief efforts. All right. So legal and financial challenges. It says that the eviction process can be lengthy and costly. I just told you, further complicating matters for landlords. Now, in some jurisdictions, it can take several months to legally evict a non-paying tenant, during which time landlords must continue to cover property-related expenses without rental income. So imagine someone staying in your property. You've already filed the legal paperwork in court. Okay, whenever the courts decide to get to your case, meanwhile, that person is still staying in your property, not paying rent. You're still having to cover those costs that you're incurring of said person staying in your property that you cannot move out of your home to get someone in there that will pay. Okay, this is something that is continuous. Of course, if you're a landlord, if you own properties, it's not your fault and it's not, your problem. Okay, you know how you tell a person, don't make your problem my problem. You don't want to sound insensitive, but because renting to someone is a business, but at the same time, you are still under contract where it says, it doesn't say anywhere in there, if we have a pandemic, that you're not going to pay said rent. If it means you're getting a second job, you got to do what you got to do. All right. Most people turn to social media as a second form of being able to get monetary money or whatever to pay for said things if their money is kind of short or whatever the case may be. You can't stay anywhere for free. So even if you're having a personal issue to where you can't pay the rent, that's not the landlord's problem. I'll say it again. That's not the landlord's problem. All right. So let's continue. It said the case studies highlighting the crisis. Texas landlords. All right. Because I know some people in my chat live in Texas. All right. Texas landlords facing bankruptcy. Says a landlord in Texas faced financial ruin after a tenant stopped paying rent. The prolonged eviction process and accumulated losses pushed the landlord towards bankruptcy. Now, Illinois landlord struggles. It said that an Illinois landlord found themselves managing 2 mortgages after a tenant defaulted on rent payments, illustrating the severe financial implications of tenant non-payment. Okay. Broader implications said that the rise in tenant defaults not only affect landlords, but also has a broader implications for housing markets. Some landlords unable to sustain the financial losses are compelled to sell their properties, potentially reducing the availability of affordable rental housing. Okay. Now, the conclusion of this is that the financial strain on landlords due to tenant non-payment is a pressing issue that requires attention. Now, balancing tenant protections with the rights of and financial stability of landlord is crucial to maintaining a healthy rental housing market. Okay, y'all hear that? For those of you that own properties and you rent them out, you might be taking a loss until you are seen in court and you can fight this thing in court. Mind you, you're going to be still stuck with, and you can charge the landlord. I mean, not the landlord, but the person that's renting your property. You can put the court costs on them for you having to file for them not paying said rent if that's what you choose to do. I would. You're the reason why I'm in court. You're definitely going to pay my court costs and any legal fees that's going to be attached to said rent, and do whatever you need to do. If you need to file for bankrupt, whatever you need to do, I don't care. But you're going to pay me for staying on my property and not paying me. It's not my fault that we had a pandemic. That's something that's beyond my control. It's no different than if you go to work today and you get fired. It's your responsibility to find employment to carry on the said agreement and or contract in terms of what you signed between you, and I know it's between you and I, saying that you would pay said amount from this date to this date, and until this date hits, you still owe me. So I don't really care about what's going on. Why? I ain't gonna say I don't care. I do care, but it's unfortunate that people run into situations. But it's your responsibility as an adult to figure out how you're going to stay on a person's property and continue to pay them even when you're going through something that's less fortunate. Okay, that's how that works. Unfortunately, okay, it's not the landlord's problem that there's a pandemic. He was in a pandemic as well. All right, so let's get into, since we're talking about housing, for those of you that live in Georgia, let's get into that as well. All right, if you live in Georgia, honey, Georgia Road Project is forcing Black homeowners out of their neighborhood they've lived in for decades. They're dealing with that as well, including spiking rental payments as well. Rent is going up, they're saying, at an all-time high in the Atlanta area as well. A lot of people are moving to Atlanta. Not sure why, because it's crowded enough. All right, I'm in Atlanta as well, for those of you that must know. I think you know. Anyway, yeah, so rent is going up. I actually, thank God, I've been able to own my home. So that kind of saves me from, you know, people being able to hike my rent going up and down, how they do whenever you're renting a property. So let's get into what's said here.
With signs in tow, these residents made their voices heard Saturday, fighting to stay in their homes.
They have no answers for our community. Only thing they want to do is find ways to take.
The city of Villa Rica wants to extend the Mirror Lake connector through the spot where homes currently sit. The goal is to connect the Douglas County side of Villa Rica to the downtown area. But residents say they're not leaving, with many of these families owning these homes for decades.
They're not going to take it. They're going to have to pay for it. But we don't want to move. My sister and them don't want to move, and they will not.
They've been talking for more than a year saying they don't want this. Residents from Mirror Lake have even come over and said, we didn't ask for this. But yet they have willfully continued to push this forward.
Residents also say there's been a lack of transparency from the city. Back in December at a community meeting, interim city manager Diana DeSanto said the project was needed due to growth in the area. In that meeting, she also said she hopes to come to a compromise with residents. She told Fox 5 days later she wished the city had been more open about their plans from the beginning.
I wish we'd done better. I wish we'd done a better job of communicating from the very beginning.
Residents say they will continue to speak out.
They're displacing a whole bunch of people. My daddy is a disabled veteran, served his country, and now has to worrying about if he has a place to go.
The mayor of Villa Rica did not wish to comment on today's protest. We also are still waiting to hear back from the interim city manager. At the live desk, Kim Luffler, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, so shout out to Black Media Page, because that's where we saw it. So they're trying to do some type of Georgia Road project, which is going to force a bunch of homeowners from their neighborhood, from their homes, in order for them to do so. Unfortunately, they can do it. And the Georgia residents, as you guys can see, they're picketing and they're pushing back. They are speaking out in terms of saying, hey, this is not right. We've been in this neighborhood for decades. We have people who are disabled, veterans, or just disabled, period, that live in these neighborhoods. And you guys are now talking about you're going to do a Georgia Road project coming through here, which is going to cause us to have to move. Where are we moving? If you own your home, that's unfortunate for you to have to pick up and move from your home that's probably paid for as well. Of course, they do have to pay them if they're asking them to move from their properties. But who wants to move? If you're an older person, 70, 60, 70, 80 years, who wants to have a U-Haul back up to your door, having to move to another place when you settled in where you are? Most people who are in that age, they're not looking to move. So it's unfortunate for them to have this project that they're doing, which is trying to force Black homeowners out of their neighborhoods. This is sad. I would hate to know that my grandmother was living in a zone where they are doing some type of project and telling her, oh, you got to move. My grandmother's 89 years old. I would hate to know that my grandmother would have to move from a community that she's lived in for quite some time. All right. It's a little too abrasive for YouTube's sake, because I know they're not going to approve that. But anyway, they have the body cam footage of where he was resisting and they had to use pow force. We will not share that video. Silly of me not to watch the entire video. So let's get into what the grandmother had to say, because that's a little less abrasive. I do not want to show that on camera, okay? And I'm probably gonna have to edit that shit out. Oh, more work for me, but it's okay. We got it. All right, so let's show what the grandmother had to say. Says the grandmother, 13-year-old Kamani Lateef, speaks out and tells all, okay? Says that Dorothy Latique also said that she wasn't arrested. So we saw a video and a picture rather that was sent to me that I pulled that showed where she was getting arrested on a porch. She's saying that she was not arrested. So I don't know what happened in that situation. If I'm wrong, I can always come back to my channel and say, okay, I misspoke on that, or maybe I misspoke. But what we're going to do is listen to what the grandmother has to say in said situation. All right. So the grandmother speaks out and says that she wasn't arrested. Okay. Let's get into it.
Online that you were being arrested, but when we checked with police, that was not the case. So can you further clarify on exactly what did happen yesterday at your home?
Well, I was called and told that there was a mob of people in front of my house. They were angry. It was more or less the people that were here earlier waiting to see if it was Kimani that was in the home. And basically some people from the neighborhood had contacted me and said that there was a mob in front of my house and they were talking about what they were going to do to me once I came home. So the police, the detective said that she would have a unit come out and help me get my things and more or less escort me off the property. I asked to be handcuffed just so they can get the away from my property.
Are you scared?
So no, I was never arrested. I was taken downtown, but I was.
So you asked to be handcuffed so they can get off your property. I don't know if that does that make sense to y'all? For anybody watching me right now, does that make sense? If the police come to your house and there's people out in front of your house and they're threatening you or saying threatening things to you, do you tell the police, okay, handcuff me, I want to be handcuffed, and take her to the police station? Does that make sense? I don't think I would ever tell the police that. Or maybe I'm understanding it wrong. I mean, I'm usually good with understanding things, but that I do not.
Was never arrested.
Online that you were being arrested, but when we checked with police, that was not the case.
All right, let's move on, child. She asked to be handcuffed. Now, the only time I ever asked to be handcuffed was at home, but I don't know if that counts. Yeah, we're not talking about that. But anyway, let's continue.
Are you scared for your safety right now?
I am.
What are some of the things that you've been hearing and receiving from people?
They said they was going to blow up my house. They said they were going to do harm to me. It's just been a barrage of the different things that they've been stating.
I don't know.
And now yesterday, or, let's backtrack first for a little bit. So you are the guardian of Kimani, or you were the guardian of Kimani, correct?
I am the legal guardian of Kimani.
Okay. So in terms of taking care of her, when was Kimani placed under your care?
A year ago.
You take care of her?
She's been in my home for the past 5.5 years, but I just obtained legal custody of her a year ago.
Were you and Kimani close?
We were.
What were some of the things, trying to think of her and paint a memory of her in a good light, right now with everything that's going on, what was Kimani?
Child.
Are you scared for your safety?
Some don't sound right. Okay. She said she was close to her granddaughter. She had a great relationship with her granddaughter. But my whole stance is, if the police come to my house, you call the police to come here, or they come to your house and there's a plethora, that means a lot, of people in your front yard threatening you, threatening to do bodily harm to you. The last thing I want is my hands behind my back and handcuffed, bitch. If somebody swing off on me, I need to be able to be out here on this shit here. Okay, I don't want my hands behind my back to where somebody can uppercut or windmill on my ass and I can't do shit. But this right here, I mean, what's this shit here? If somebody windmilling on, I need my hands free, baby. I'm telling the police, these people out here want to do bodily harm, but please go ahead and handcuff me and take me to your station. That shit don't make any fucking sense. But let's continue, girl.
Right now,
I am.
Tell me a little bit about how the time that you've got to her.
Kimani was phenomenal. Kimani was a helper. Like she was older than what she appeared to be. Like, you know how they say somebody has an old soul? She was that. She loved older music. She loved playing video games.
Do you guys notice any similarities in this case and in the Naziah case with the grandmother? Notice Naziah was living with her grandmother when her grandmother went public to do a news or press conference rather with the news station. She had no emotion. Well, fake emotion at first. Okay. She fake cried a little bit at the end, but she just talked like, oh, this was another day. Like we're talking about some random kid who I don't know. Notice no emotion or anything. Your granddaughter Think about it. Your granddaughter was found with her hand severed. She was sexually assaulted. She was kidnapped from your home, and she was unalived in an abandoned building. You are speaking on your granddaughter, who you say you were very close to and that you love so much. But I don't see any point in time where you're wiping your eyes, you're crying, your voice doesn't change. There's no rattle in your voice to show any type of hurt from this situation. I mean, I don't know if you're like the song said, all cried out, but it's giving that if something to that magnitude happened to someone who is very near and dear to you, if this happened to me, my grandmother gonna cry. My mama gonna cry. People that's close to me gonna cry if something of that magnitude happened to me. It's weird to me that these grandmothers, like, where is your child? Child, it's weird. Do y'all not see that?
She loved the friends and family that she was allowed to be around. She played basketball for Spring Elementary. She was highly intelligent. So I'd like to clear up the mental issue statements. No, she was not mentally ill in any way. We had her, assessed, and they didn't feel as if anything was wrong with her mentally. So that was not an issue.
We were told that at that time she was doing good in school as well too, correct?
She was. She had brought her grade point average up from a 3.4 to a.
Tell me a little bit about how Kimani was in the time that you've got to her.
Kimani was phenomenal. Kimani was a helper. Like she was older than what she was, 3'9". And actually they were going to have an award ceremony for the basketball players today at 5:30, but when I divulged to them that she had passed, they've rescheduled it. She was going to receive her trophy for being, on the team and stuff.
Confusion now in terms when it comes to family, who's her biological father, who is her biological mother, and then also was she in the foster care system? Can you clear up a little bit of all of that? When Kimani was placed in your care, when is the LCCS? Who exactly did she come from, and how did she?
She came from her other legal guardian. I choose not to state her name, but she came from her other legal guardian because the other legal guardian and I were best friends. The other legal guardian is 3'9", and actually they were going to have legal guardian is my daughter, Kimani's mom, godmother, and we had already discussed when early on, because she's been with this person since she was 9 months old. My daughter has never really had custody of Kimani. So she's been with this person since she was 9 months old until, like I said, maybe 5.5 years ago. Now, off and on, this person, we would interact and, do different things with her, for her, or I would contact her and tell her, well, I need this, or Kimani would like that. And she would come by and oblige, and we would commence.
So now we do know that Darnell, people are looking for Darnell Jones right now. The police are looking for Darnell Jones, and there's an arrest warrant out for him. Do you have any idea of his whereabouts?
Oh, well, legal guardian.
Why the pause? You either do or you don't. You either do or you don't. Now, I told you guys that there was somebody's doorbell cam video where they were saying that the grandmother was looking like she was getting rid of some of Kimani's evidence, like her clothing or something like that, to that effect. Somebody said they saw on video, doorbell video cam, of the grandmother pulling up somewhere at near some park and trying to dispose of, looks like Kimani's clothing or something to that effect. That's weird, because why are you getting rid of her clothes? Why are you stopping at a park? Mind you, this was broad daylight, so you was real bold to do that shit. Okay, so they got a real clear video and or picture of this same person on my screen, this grandmother, who said that she loved her granddaughter the most. And I'm not saying that she did something, I'm just saying what was caught on doorbell cam. So what the fuck are you doing with her clothes and trying to get rid of her clothes? Because when they found her, they said that she did not have any clothes on. So were these the same clothes that she was taken off of her. How did you get these clothes in order to go and put them sporadically somewhere in the park to maybe throw off the authorities, to make it look like something was done to her in the park, when in reality her body was found in an abandoned building? What are you doing with the clothes that was on her? How did you get them? Is my question. How did you get the clothes that were on Kimani Lateague, who was 13 years old, found in an abandoned building in the park, and you were seen on someone's doorbell camera at said park who lived directly across the street from the park, disposing of said clothing? Your car pulled up there. It was verified that was your car, and verified it was you. It was verified that her clothing was found in the park. So I'm trying to figure out how that shit happened.
Is my daughter, Kimani's mom. To my knowledge, he was just arrested in Columbus. He just recently had a shootout with the police in Columbus. They're saying that he confessed to her murder. And no, I take that back. They're saying that he confessed to her rape and slitting her throat.
How does it feel to learn that?
I can't even say.
You know, as the police report mentions, Kimani was last seen with Darnell. You know, do you have any regrets of letting Kimani go with, as you're her guardian, do you have any regrets of letting Kimani go with Darnell?
I do, only because, like I said, I feel deceived. I feel like this was pre-planned. I feel like to my knowledge, he was just arrested in Columbus. I feel like you was grooming her.
When you say grooming her, is there things that you saw before this leading
No,
up?
there
Where would you get that she's been groomed if you never saw any evidence of her being groomed? How would you know that? How would you know that? Why, a person who is not her biological father, as they say, why would you allow Kimani to go with a grown ass man? Where were they going? What were they doing? Why would he be seen, or why would he be alone with a 13-year-old girl that's not his daughter? Why? They're saying he was not her biological father. So why would you, as her guardian, allow said grown ass man to come and pick this girl up and take her anywhere out of your sight? And now you're sitting here saying you believe she was groomed. That means that you would have some evidence of something that you may have seen, something that may have been brought to your attention in terms of her being groomed. Maybe she was acting differently than she normally acts. Maybe she, something that you saw that made you come to the realization that this girl had been groomed by this said person. So this is not a whole haphazard event that you're talking about. You're not just throwing out stuff. These are things that I feel like and I don't feel like the grandmother is telling all of what she knew. Kind of like Nazia's case. Okay, I feel like they knew Nazia was being groomed. I feel like they knew. I've showed you guys evidence of that as well, where the aunt says she's probably out getting some D. So you already knew that she was sexually active at a very young age. Just like this grandmother knows more than what she's saying.
I never saw anything out the ordinary, but when molesters decide to choose prey, they groom you first. So they give you gifts. They try and make you comfortable with them. They try and say little things to you that you and they can keep secret. And then eventually they pounce. And that's how I feel that how all of this is played out, I feel that's what happened. I feel like
what is this? What is this? If you listen to a person close enough, they'll kind of sort of put their own foot up their ass. I don't feel like, and I don't want to accuse this woman of anything, and I'm not accusing because she's not been through a court of law, but I'm just saying, just from my opinion, let's say it that way, okay? In my opinion, I feel like the grandmother is not being totally 100 in what she's saying, and I feel like she knows a little bit more, because grandmothers are observers, okay? Grandmas can tell you that a child is yours and you ain't even had a fucking blood test. Grandmas just know a little bit more about certain things. Grandmas can tell you if you've been sexually active, and they won't even know. Just by your demeanor, just by how you dress, and just by how you carry yourself. Grandmas can tell if you've been sexually active, if they've been around you. If you live, especially you living with grandma. And y'all can co-sign that in my chat, okay? Grandmas are very observant. Grandmas know when you being fast and you onto some shit you shouldn't be on, especially at a young age. Okay? Yeah, they know. They know. You can't put too much past grandma. Okay, grandma, why you got on them little ass, what you got them little shorts on for? Where you going with that on? That's an indication that you're trying to be fast. Where is this coming from? There's something going on here. I know if I'm observing, grandma, baby, grandma gonna call it out. Grandma know. Okay? Grandma know. Grandma know. Grandma know. Like they say, child, you have a baby by somebody, take that baby over to grandma's house. You don't need Maury. You don't need no damn paternity test. Take that baby over there. Grandma gonna look at that baby and say, that ain't your baby. Ain't had not one test, and she gonna be right. Grandma be knowing. This is mine. Okay, especially mine. Okay, grandma knew the red flags, plus she got that extra connection with God. So God be telling her some stuff too. You can't get nothing past grandma. Okay, grandma can do this right here and pray, saying, Lord, show me what's going on with Rail. Okay. And by the time Rail get ready to tell grandma, she's like, oh, that ain't what it is. Okay. A higher power done told me that something ain't right here. So you can't really lie to grandma. This grandma right here, I told y'all these new age grandmas is something different about them. It's something different about them. They're not protectors like they used to be back in the day. Like, see, like my grandma who was 89 years old, she would not be on no shit like this. Like, no. Ain't no grown man gonna pull up and say, I'm here to pick up Kamaya. Grandma gonna say, no, the fuck you're not. Not my grandma, because she's, she's a godly woman. But the older big mom, I'm talking about big mama type of grandma. They be like, what you picking her up for? Especially if you ain't her daddy. Okay. What you come here to pick her up for? Excuse me? Why? You going where? Yeah, you're not taking her no place. Okay. Get in your car and get the fuck out of here. She's a child. That's what real grandmas say. But a grandma like this, oh yeah, sure, take her. And now you're sitting here with the news. I feel like she was groomed. Why do you feel that way? Was Kamani wearing some little tight shorts and revealing little shirts with her stomach out at 13 years old? That's highly inappropriate. Was she doing little sexy videos on, online? Did you find something, was it some text messages between she and this person, this Darnell person that maybe she shouldn't have had, that you guys may have seen in her phone? Okay. Yeah. Which is what led me to believe when they saw you on said video getting rid of said evidence, that lets me know that you may have seen some things and you're not ready to talk about it yet. But there's a good old thing called evidence that usually points that out. So we're gonna wait, just like everybody else has to do, child. We're gonna wait and see what the evidence bring out. Okay. We're gonna wait and see what the evidence bring out on this particular case, because I'm intrigued by this. Y'all know I love stuff like this. I am intrigued by this case. I am going to stay on this case to see the outcome of it. And once we get it, I definitely, when it goes to court, I definitely want to know how this pans out, because the grandmother, I feel like, needs to be charged as well. It's your responsibility. And we're going to have to probably do some neglect in there as well. Child endangerment as well should be placed on grandmother, because first of all, she's 13 years old. She's really not of age to be at home alone anyway. Now, I don't know what the states, what the rules and regulations are there in Ohio, but I'm gonna have to look that up to see what age can a child be home alone without parental supervision. Okay, you leaving this child home, you don't look like you have a job, grandma. You look kind of old there. But why is this child home alone, unattended by an adult at 13 years old? Okay. Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Okay, for her to have open access to whatever the case may be, for a grown ass man to have that much access to her. Okay. Yeah, no, you can't go and get custody of a child and take them from another source or another parent, okay, who is deemed to be not fit to take care of said child. And then you say you're more fit than the person who's taking care of him. And then this child has open access to a grown ass man who's not their father, and then sit up in videos and say, oh, I think she was groomed. If it was the fact, then it's on you, baby. Okay. It's on you, baby, because you were supposed to be her protector, her provider. And it's given that you did not protect her and or do what the adult in this situation is supposed to do. You're supposed to tell a grown-ass man, you can't come here and be around her. You can't come and pick her up under no circumstances. I don't give a fuck where you taking her. I don't care if you take her to get ice cream. Go get the ice cream and bring it back. Okay, she'll be here. Go get the ice cream, tell them to put a lid on that shit, bring that shit right back. But coming to pick her up and take her anywhere, fuck no. You're a grown-ass man. Little girls should not be with grown-ass men, especially if they're not their father. What the fuck? I gotta say that. Grown-ass men should not be pulling up to nobody's house. I'm here to pick up Kamani, and she's 13. Fuck out of here. Of course he grooming her. And you allowed it under your watch. So as the guardian of Kamaya, you should also be charged for child neglect, child endangerment. Okay? And if he was grooming her, you sat back and watched that shit, so you're just as much as guilty as the person that did it. And that's what these people need to understand and realize. Don't take a child from another home, put them in your home, and sit back and watch shit unfold. You weren't even there when the shit happened. So that is child endangerment, child abandonment. Because when that child get off the bus and come home, your ass supposed to be home, making sure, 1, that she comes home, 2, that she's on that homework and doing what she's supposed to do. 3, you're supposed to be at, how was your day? You're supposed to be interacting with her. The first place or person she should see when she get home is your face. So if you're not there, where the fuck are you? So it gives that she's been left unattended for quite some time, many times, without supervision, which then opened the door for a pedo like Darnell Jones to bring his ass up over there and do what he was doing. What's to say he wasn't doing what he was doing to her in your house? So for you to say you felt she was groomed, you saw some evidence of that, or you wouldn't have brought it up. You would have brought it up if you didn't think that something was going on under your nose. So let's put it all on Darnell. Yes, he was definitely wrong for that shit. He was wrong for that. But so were you, because you were not there when that child came home. If the gas was on, she might have went in there trying to cook something. Suppose someone struck a match or something, or a spark from somewhere. Your whole entire house, including your granddaughter, could have been kaboom. I mean, I'm just looking at, y'all know I watch crime shows, so I put 2 and 2 together. I mean, shit, I'm still trying to solve this Naziah case. The more evidence I look at, I'll be like, that don't look like that. But we're going to see. We're going to let it pan out. We're going to let the justice system do what it do. And I'm going to be right here watching. And as we get updates, I will give them to you. All right. Let's stop sharing, because this is my last and final topic. The last one I was going to do, we'll do it in a separate video. Okay. But I hope you guys, what time is it? I got to go. So yes, thank you guys so much for being here for this video. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much to my mods. Let's get them out the way. Thank you, Truth TV Podcast, Rose Armstead, my backup mobs. Thank you so much to my regular mobs, Belle Wilson, Tyra, Scorpion Miss, and KBR. Thank you guys so much for being here and doing your awesome job of modding to keep the trolling down. I know trolls were in here today, baby, like what we were talking about. All right. Thank you so much to all the content creators as well for being here. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for coming over. Schoolboy, I saw you in the building. Who else did I see? Clarity Speaks. Thank you.
Obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran, so to know, man, I still go.